Are we doing Instagram as well or just this?
Let's just focus on this. Instagram's going to be another level of complication. We're live on all of them, so go ahead.
All right. Hey, guys. Thanks for coming in today. Let's do some introductions. I'm Nick Friend. I'm the CEO and owner of Art Storefronts.
My name is Patrick. I run the marketing department here.
We also have Taylor and Chris, who are on the marketing team as well. We tend to have quite a few people on these calls, but let's talk about what we're doing here today, Pat. In true just ship it fashion, right? A lot of you guys probably haven't heard that phrase. Our Art Storefronts members know what that means. But we woke up today and just said, our job is obviously to provide value to our members as much as possible, and we're trying to provide as much value as we can to non-members with whatever position that you're at. Obviously, like, our members are, what we say is, like, they're further down the funnel. They're just deeper, working on, like, in-depth marketing tactics and things that we're working with them on all the time. And so up front, the problems and the issues are different. And so, we've been doing these live sessions with non-Art Storefronts members for a few weeks now. And they're just kind of taking on a life of their own. And so today the thought was, I know that, we care about customer satisfaction more than anything. It's actually our number one metric. And if you've never heard of, the measurement that we use is called Net Promoter Score, NPS, Net Promoter Score. If you've never heard of it, look it up. Like, Google it after this session. It's basically the gold standard in measuring customer satisfaction. And if you want to know, like, what I believe in and what we believe in, like, as a team, it is watching that metric and making sure that that it's always great, right? And essentially, what that metric is it measures how people think of, how your customers think about you, in terms of how willing they are to tell other artists and photographers about us and speak about us positively and refer them to us. Because that's, like, basically the greatest signal that a company can have. Is it generating referrals? Not only is it maintaining its customers, but is it actually organically growing because its customers are so happy and so satisfied with the service? So a lot of people, when they're looking into us, they want to talk to other members, or they want to hear their stories or anything like that. And we love that. We absolutely love that, because we only want people coming on board that we feel are a good fit, that we can help. And as I said earlier, like, we just ship it. So I wanted to make this happen, where I'm like, you know what? We have nothing to hide. Let's let people talk to each other. Let's let the non-members talk to members, and let it be kind of a free-for-all. So what we did, full disclosure, is we have our private members group, and we posted a link to this 30 minutes ago. We did not cherry pick it at all, and just said, hey, this is what we're doing. If anybody wants to come on, if you could come on and share your story, or talk about anything, or take any questions. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what this format's going to be like, but if you're willing to do that, that would be awesome. And so if the non-members have any questions that you would like to ask any members, click the chat button down below and start typing in your questions in there. And it can be anything. And what we may do, we'll just kind of wing it and feel this out. We may unmute some of you and let you guys just kind of talk back and forth. And we'll just kind of play it by ear. So, Patrick, are you there? I lost your video.
Yeah, I turned it off. Hold on.
Okay. So we can just kind of go from here. And what I would say too is, any members that are on here, can you guys raise your hands so that we can unmute you or get you to the top and just kind of start talking to you right off the bat?
Nice.
Awesome. So Elizabeth is on here. Pat, do you want to manage that?
Yeah, I'll manage that.
Okay.
Hey, Elizabeth, how you doing? Oh, did I not get the unmute going? I think she's having mic issues. Oh,
Hello,
there you
I'm
are.
doing good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we've got you.
Yes. Hey, Elizabeth.
Okay, I'm trying to get my video going. Sorry.
Ooh, the constant IT
Let's
battle.
see.
The constant IT battle. There we are.
Ah, there we go.
All right,
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You've been growing that email list, huh?
Big time. I am just shy of 2,000 on my email list now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
Fantastic.
yeah.
So
So
Elizabeth, when did you can you kind of tell your story about like when you joined, how long ago you joined,
absolutely.
like and like where were you beforehand? Like what were you doing? What were you doing with marketing? Why did you decide to join? How has it been since you joined? Like all your information, nothing from Patrick and I, just unvarnished.
Wait,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't mind if you talked about your day job, though.
You
I can't. It'll just never not be cool to me.
love that. You
Yeah,
just love that.
everyone loves that. Who does not
Yeah.
love NASA? Everyone loves NASA.
Okay. So my day job. By day, I am a rocket scientist. I am working on America's next human-rated space class, deep space exploration space capsule. So we will be taking the first woman and the next man to the moon, and then on to Mars. So that's what I do for my day job.
Amazing.
Um,
Any just final question? Any Space Force crossover? You don't have to. You don't
uh,
have to tell me the truth if you can't. But any Space Force crossover?
oh, we are civilian. We are purely civilian.
Got it. Got it.
Um, and yeah, so we're all about the science and the exploration, and yeah, so basically everything that we do crosses over into the consumer world. We basically we develop it all, and then we turn it over to corporate for free.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's what we do. But then on top of that, obviously, I just even became a grandmother recently. So I am probably like 8 years away from retirement. And I used to own a really successful fine art photography business, got divorced, and had to stop cold that business. And so it grew stale, obviously, didn't have any contacts, that kind of thing. And so I was like, you know, in a better place now and went, I need to restart my photography business if this is something I want to do as my retirement. And so I know it takes a while to grow a business from scratch. You can't just do it overnight. I recognize that. I remember that from last time. And so Art Storefronts had contacted me right at the end of my last business, and I had been considering switching to Art Storefronts at the time, and decided, obviously I had to stop, and so I never switched platforms at the time, and so I remembered Art Storefronts from that, and thought it was so unique and an amazing platform. So when I decided to restart, I restarted directly on the Art Storefronts platform and signed up. But I've only been going for really a couple of months. I mean, I went live, I think, at the very end of December. I mean, it's kind of a terrible time to get going, right? So like I missed all of the Christmas
Yeah, the Q4.
sales and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of hit the ground right at the dead time. But my thought process in doing that is that, I have the whole year to kind of start building up that email list to hit a really strong fourth quarter this year. And so that's what I've been really focused on is using the Art Storefronts playbook for marketing to grow my email list. Um, because when I started, I only had 32 people on my email list.
Yep.
So when I say I started from scratch, I mean I started from scratch. I had nobody, and so I, stood up my Facebook page. I stood up an Instagram, and just started following the marketing playbook, and started cold marketing to Facebook with an art giveaway back in like February timeframe. And end of February so that I could launch it for March. And I ended up with 1,000 emails on my email list by the end of March. And I'm now at the end of April was up to about 2,000 emails, and it's just growing exponentially from there.
How do you feel about Elizabeth? That's great. How do you like? So how you made an investment obviously into Art Storefronts. Some people like they're you have to pay a one-time membership fee, right? How do you feel about your investment, like in your future?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would not hesitate um, to reinvest again. I mean, because you're not buying a website. What you're buying is a marketing agency. I mean, that's really what you're buying. And you happen to get a really nice platform for a website along with it. What you're really buying into is the entire marketing platform and a success playbook that goes along with it. So you get an entire marketing team really at your disposal 24/7. Plus, you're getting all of the social media support from other artists right alongside from that in a community that is just ready made and sitting there for you. So I wouldn't hesitate. I knew it was special when y'all talked to me the first time. A couple, I guess you all probably were even just getting going, would be my guess. You know, back when I had my first photography business. But and I knew it was special then. I had no idea though when I signed up for the platform just how much I was going to get from it. I've been really impressed.
What, Elizabeth? We didn't ask you to come on like one
No,
on
I
one.
just saw y'all on.
Why did you come on today?
Mainly because I just wanted to share that, because I really feel strongly and believe in what you guys are doing. There's nothing else out there like it. I've seen some other art marketing, I call it platforms, and they say that they do marketing support. And I've spent money on some other marketing for artists options, and it's just not the same. Like there's nothing else out there. I think what you guys are doing is really different and it's really unique. And I know that the bigger we grow our community, because a lot of what support I've gotten is from other artists too within our small wins community. And so I know that the more we grow that community, the stronger that Art Storefronts is going to become and the better it is for me, frankly.
I love that.
That's why I got on here.
I love that you see it that way, because that's what we're trying to do by design, right? Like the more, like everything is predicated upon the success of you guys. If you guys are successful, it's the only way we succeed. We die. This business dies if you guys are not successful, right?
Absolutely.
And so the more success that we can create, and the more artists and photographers that kind of join in as like a co-op, right? It's like a big co-op. Then the more that we can do, the more marketing people we can add, the more playbooks we can do, the more the features we can develop, and we're constant. And that's what's happening. Like we keep growing, so we're adding more and more, and the velocity with which we're doing those things is increasing.
But even the success piece aside, like to your point, Elizabeth, like there's marketing in practice, case studies and people saying this happened and this new technique, and then there are actual artists that are going out there and shipping things and coming back and saying, this is what I did, this was how I was successful. And the beauty about art and photography sales is it's not a zero-sum game. If you're doing well, it's not hurting someone else, right?
That's
like
right.
the rising tide lifts all boats in this. And marketing is a multi-headed hydra. There are so many different aspects and venues and techniques and tactics. And you're right, to your point. The more we get on, the more we hear success stories, the more we reverse engineer it, the more we test it, the more we put it in the water, and there's just that feedback loop. I mean, it ends up being a flywheel, right? It's just spinning and spinning and spinning. So
it does.
I love that you said that, and it's so true, because no one person, no one company, no one group can master or run them all. Like, the more lines you have in the water, the more data you get, the better everyone gets. That's a profound statement for sure.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead, Elizabeth.
No, I was just gonna say you're welcome. And yeah, I just happened to see that you guys had gone live on here on Facebook, and I'm on my lunch break from work, and so I thought I would just join.
Really appreciate it.
Get back to those mundane things about putting people out of Earth's atmosphere on a giant fuel tank rocket, and never get old. It's never gonna get old for me.
I noticed we got Ronald Olcott on here. Ron, are you willing to hop on here?
And Elizabeth, put your website in the chat so people can check out your work too.
Yeah, I sure will.
Very talented photographer.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ron, I just unmuted you, and I want to say something really quick about you. Like, you are awesome. Ron, just so you guys know, so we have, like Elizabeth was just talking about the community, right? Like, I view our community as, I'm sure many of you are like you're in some Facebook groups or something, but this is like a whole different level. Like, this is an elite group of people like really building their businesses, right? But Ron is super active. You're always helping everybody. You're like one of the most benevolent people in the community. People are asking questions all the time about all sorts of stuff. You know what you're doing, and you're always just doing that and giving back. And I love that about you. I've never gotten to just tell you that face to face. I just wanted to tell you that.
Thank you.
So do you mind like just what's your experience with Art Storefronts? Like, just, your own, just whatever you want to say.
Okay. Well, I am brand new to art. My background is in computer engineering, and I've been studying digital marketing for 15 years. So that's why I'm able to answer a lot of questions for people on the forum. But I'm brand new to selling art, and I believe strongly in serendipity. I came up with this idea at the suggestion of a friend that I might want to actually sell my photographs online. And about that time, Art Storefronts started showing up in my Facebook feed. And I clicked and I read and I looked and I love the fact that they said, we've got a marketing plan. Because I know from my experience with other business that the technology is there, okay? You can plug stuff into technologies, okay? It's not the technology that's going to make you stand out. It's always going to be your marketing that takes you down the road. So I upped and got in and launched my store right around the beginning of this year, okay? Really hasn't taken off, but as I said, I started from zero. Literally, the first MailChimp I sent out went to me and me, all right? So I now have about 300 emails on my list. I now have 335 followers on my Facebook page. It's traction, okay? So don't expect that you're gonna plug this in. It used to be an old advertisement on TV when the internet was new. You see all these people in a room and they're all excited about, oh, we're going to launch our website, and they launch their website, and of course everything crashes because billions of people come. That's not going to happen. That's not the way marketing online works, okay? But Art Storefronts is here. Any question that you have. I know one of the things that somebody asked is like, what level of your assistants do you have? You have people at the level of Nick and Patrick. There's online chat all the time during the day. You got a question when you're working on things, you click on online chat, somebody's there in less than 5 minutes. And 99% of the time they can just go, yeah, do this, 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 and this. Okay, so there's already plans in place to do all of that. It's been an incredibly positive experience. I love the fact that they've got the entire team on for hours, twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, answering any question that anybody has live on a Zoom feed. So it is just an incredible experience, and I'm just loving how things are going and waiting to hit that critical mass, because I know that this is the tool that's going to get me there. So,
Ron, so there's a gentleman named Neil that's asking some questions in the chat. I'm just going to ask it to you because I'd rather have the members' opinion on it. But he did ask like about our staff and are we scaled? For everybody, most people wouldn't know the answer to this, but we have about 35 employees. Okay, our support staff is about 20, and our marketing staff is about all the different people that are contributing to the marketing is probably, what is it, 7, I think now. Maybe it's 8, I don't know, somewhere around there. But what he asked is, what is the size of the assistant staff, who truly have experience? What do I can see what he's getting at is, are you getting, like he mentioned Patrick specifically, like to get the quality advice on par with Patrick's, right? So he's probably not aware of the workshops we're doing twice a week with me and Patrick live, right? So how much quality advice are you getting? How much access to Patrick and myself are you actually getting on a weekly basis?
At a minimum, we're getting direct access to Nick and Patrick for about 4 hours a week. They come on, for me, it's the middle of the day, Tuesdays and Thursdays. They have a start time. They often will have something that they're going to share with us, and then they just take questions until there are no more questions. It's not oh, you got an hour, so hurry up, guys. They take questions until everybody falls off the feed, okay? They literally have, some of the early ones, they stayed here 3 and 4 hours just answering questions directly from Nick and Patrick, okay? And that's not counting the support staff and all the support that we get through the Facebook group. That's just them online answering not general questions, people's individual questions. It's incredible.
Awesome. Well, Ron, is there anything else you want to say, or?
No, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
Let me ask you the same question that I asked to Elizabeth. Why did you decide to hop on here? Because I didn't ask you to do it directly, right? Like, why did you decide to do it?
Well, it's for the same reason I spend so much time in the Facebook group. This to me is just an incredible opportunity. And if I can help give back and help other people understand that a little bit. I saw your notice this morning. As I posted, I thought it was an incredibly brave thing to do. But this is making such a difference in the way I see my life headed that I wanted to come on here and let people know that if you've got doubts, if you're wondering if these people are telling you the truth, if you're confused about options out there, I just wanted to say, this is it, okay? This is the combination of a great platform, yes, okay? But the people who will help you be successful and are really invested in doing that.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that.
Awesome. And people were asking for your website, Ron, but it looks like Chris put it in the chat, so you guys can check out Ron's work. Amazing stuff. And I love the perspective piece too, Ron. Like, you're old school. You know how long it takes. It's a grind to get started. And guess what? There's no shortcut. There's no magic list. There's no magic accelerant. There's no magic website. You start grinding and you get on with it. I mean, and you get there. And in 3 to 5 years, you have a healthy, robust business, and that's how it goes, period.
Yeah, and so, for anyone, I see Neil's asking a lot of different detailed questions and mentioned that he sent like a detailed email to one of our staff members with like, a list of questions and they weren't able to get back to him and answer them. Yeah, like our process is we have a very simple process. You request a demo, you hop on a call with one of our people. That is our process. It's a filter, honestly. If you don't want to get on the phone with our people to talk about you and your business, I mean, we're going to be on calls like this, like we are with Ron, like all week. We want to know who we're dealing with, because frankly, if you're like a bad actor, we need to find that out. Like, we don't want any of those people in the community. I'm not doing this, to like not enjoy myself. We all want to enjoy ourselves and move businesses forward and have a good time doing it. And so it's really simple. If you don't ever want anybody to call you again, trust me, we will never call you again. We have a status that's like, do not call. We have plenty of people to talk to. We get 50 demo requests a day. So there's just not the time. It's just, it can happen a lot faster if you're just on the phone, get every question you want answered. Tell the person if you never want to get an email or talk to us again, and it will literally never happen. You have my word. So we just want to, bring people in that want to get helped and are looking to be, more successful and take their businesses forward. And we'll tell you whether you're a good fit or not. If we don't think that we can help you, we will not sign you up. We don't have a sign up on our website for a specific reason, because not everybody, we can't help everybody. And we only want to bring the people on that we think, have the right mindset and they have the right goals in mind. We're also trying to find people and filter out people that, think that this is a get rich quick. It's a huge problem in the art industry. Like, I'm just going to launch a website, throw my art up on the internet, and then fish are going to jump into my boat and it's going to be like an ATM machine. Like, that's not reality. That's not how any business works anywhere. And unfortunately, there's just a lot of people that are like that have that thought. And so we have to filter all of that out, because otherwise the blame goes on us. It's like, I did this, I launched a site and, I have no sales, right? It's like, well, there's a lot more than just launching a site. We talk about this all the time, right? You can just Google 99% of all Shopify stores fail and just read it, right? Like and it's not a knock against Shopify. It applies to any generic platform. If you launch a website, you don't really have a business yet. Everybody wants to make you think you do. These other companies, these other website platforms, that's all of their marketing. It's like, just start recognizing it. Look at when you see their ads, you will see that it's like, start a business, just get your site and you can be up in days. And it's like, it's never been easier to launch a business, but it's never been harder to create a successful one. And if you don't have a successful marketing program that's bringing in leads consistently and converting them into sales, you don't have anything yet. You're just sitting there with a website with a million other people that are launching one every single day. So that is the real problem. That's the game behind the game. That's the problem that you really need to solve. And so that's what we're doing here. We just, we're trying to find those people, frankly, in the industry and, get them all over to Art Storefronts and have this awesome elite group, elite community of people who understand what you need to do to move a business forward. And let's all work together and let's create successful artists that are, building their own successful businesses, making the most money from their work. They're not relying on 1099s from third parties like galleries or publishers or any of those ruses that are out there. Some of them are earning money from that. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But long-term, I want you to own your own customer list. I want you to build a real business, not a 1099 independent contractor thing. I want you to have a real business like every other industry, and you'll have something that will generate future cash flows for you if you do that.
So we've got a couple of chat questions that came in. One.
Let me mention real quick though, any other Art Storefronts members that hopped on here, if you could raise your hand so that if you want to share your story. I see a couple of you on here, but I don't know if you're just, if you're here to chat or just paying attention. I see Kelly on here. I know Megh is coming on. So if you guys could raise your hand while Patrick and I are answering some of these questions in the chat.
One of which somebody was asking about what labs that we use. So Nick, I'll let you take that one. And then someone else asked about what about originals? Who ships the originals? Yeah, you guys ship the originals, obviously. Of course they do, because you're going to produce them there and you would have to ship them out.
Yeah, you ship the originals. There's a lot of great discussion in the group that you can reference. When I say the group, I mean the private members forum. And people are talking about and sharing how they ship originals and what companies they're using and what the best prices are. That's just another great benefit of just being able to leverage people who are actually shipping originals all the time and, just getting access to that information. In terms of the labs, we work with in the US, the two main companies that we work with are Bayphoto and Graphic Dimensions. I have personally hand selected them. If you guys aren't familiar with me or my background, about 17, almost 18 years ago, I started a company called Breathing Color, manufactured fine art paper, canvas, photography papers, all for high quality printing. And so I've been in the fine art reproduction and photo reproduction side of things for almost 20 years. So I know everything about this. I know who these companies are. I know the owners personally. We have very deliberately chosen who we work with based on how big they are, what type of a quality outfit they are, how much they stand behind their products when something goes wrong. We hold their feet to the fire contractually in terms of quality standards. I could go into the detail of how we do that, but it is very intense, okay? Our agreements are very stiff. They can't make any changes. The ink that they use, the printer they use, the media types they use, the brand names are all under contract, and they have to disclose what those are to us so that I can make sure that they've been third-party certified archival for over 100 years by third-party institutions that actually do this. And that's for all of our like archival material. We also, they also offer like more decorative art media types as well. For some of our customers have like more decorative art that's lower priced. And so they don't need like 100-year archival, 200-year archival print quality. They actually would prefer some lower cost options that give them higher profit margins. So we're giving you, everything that you need from low to high in terms of quality. But needless to say, we take the print quality and the print fulfillment operation extremely seriously. It's basically my baby. We're constantly adding features to it. We negotiate pricing on behalf of all of you so that you guys get better pricing than the market. So if you are familiar with Bayphoto, when you're a member, you will get better pricing as an Art Storefronts member than you would if you deal with them directly. Same goes with Graphic Dimensions. They're a bigger fulfillment company. But the other thing is that, shipping is a big deal. When you got to think about all of these things, right? When you're dealing with a lot of online volume, you need to make sure that the companies you work with are doing so much production and shipping that they have the best rates with UPS and FedEx, which is who's primarily used when you're dealing with art shipping, so that they're passing along the lowest rates to your consumer, right? Because there's nobody's marking up the shipping at all, because we need the shipping to be as cheap as possible so that when your consumer is on your site, it's the lowest price that they can possibly get. And that's a function of the rate that the fulfillment company has with these big shipping providers and their cost of packaging, right? So if you've, well, I'm not going to say if you, maybe some of you have, but I have a lot of experience because at my manufacturing company, we buy a gazillion dollars of boxes, for the sheets and for rolls of canvas and paper, that go into retail stores and get shipped directly to printing companies. So when you're buying boxes, you need to buy like very large volumes to get the lowest price possible. The same goes for tape, packing peanuts or whatever is used in the shipping process. The biggest companies are getting the best rates on all of that, which in effect lowers their shipping costs as well, which gets passed on to your consumer. So the selection of who these printing companies is a very, very intricate and important decision. And I've done all of that for you. We've done all of that for you. And like I said, we're constantly negotiating. We're getting lower prices for you guys. It will never end, because the lower pricing and the competitiveness of these companies is important for you guys, because that's your profit margin. If we can save you an extra 10%, 15% here or there on your prints, like most people don't even realize. I mean, Ron, you could say this, or any of the other members, but you probably don't even think about this when you become a member. But over time, as you make sales, the savings on your printing will pay for your membership and then some. Because the discounts that you're getting will just add up and add up and add up. And it's like, you're not even thinking about that when you join. I know none of you that are on here that are not members, you're not even thinking about that, right? You're thinking about the dollars that you have to put out for the membership. And there's so many different benefits that are like that, that just add up. At the end of the day, if you're not getting like 10, 20, 30x your investment back, like in different various ways, like then the only way that you won't is if you didn't sell anything at all. And you may not have validated. I would only say to people that haven't validated that they can sell their artwork yet. And what that means is, like, have you ever sold it to a stranger before? And do you have actually an opportunity to like run an art business? If you don't have that, we can't solve that problem for you. But that's kind of how it goes. I see we got a couple of hands raised.
Yeah, we've got Kelly and Darren. There's one Facebook comment I want to deal with quickly, and it's from Deborah. And it's like, I paid for a nicely built website. It's very aesthetically pleasing, but of course, nothing happening. The pretty portfolio site sadly doesn't get it done. There's
website's not enough.
Yeah, website's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. And also too, like, artists and photographers, especially like 90% of them fall in the trap that like, ooh, I've just got to get this website and it's just got to be so pretty and it's got to show my work in the way that I like it. And it's got to be just aesthetically beautiful and the right fonts and the colors and everything else. And that it will never be the most effective site to sell art online. It's just not even close. If you look at our sites, they're very minimalist. They're very simple. Why? Because what is the best way to sell art? Period. It is in person. That is indisputable. That does not go away. So, okay. If you're going to sell it digitally, and there's a lot of reasons to do that, right? Much bigger buyer pool. What's the best thing that you can do with your website digitally? Make it as close as the experience offline, online. And so what do our websites look like? Same thing that you'd see when you walk into an art gallery. White walls, blank, minimalist. The art, the photography is all the color and all the look. And that's how you convert. Notwithstanding the fact that, the portfolio sites obviously don't have all the e-commerce stuff built in, but the design's a huge portion of it too. But let's grab Kelly. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, let's grab Kelly. Kelly, how you doing? Let me unmute you though. Did it work?
Myself. There we go.
There we are. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. I thought I'd share my story with y'all. I am so technically challenged. So my very first website I built on Wix. I was very proud of myself, but really that was about as far as I could get. I couldn't sell anything off of my website. I just thought that I would post things on Instagram and people would find me on my website, and nothing happened. So then I thought I'd go to Shopify. And again, I paid for Shopify, but never actually did anything with it for about a year. And then I saw an ad for Art Storefronts with Megh, and it caught my eye because I also went to KU. So I had a little connection, and I messaged her and she said to definitely check y'all out. And I did. And it took me a long time to build my website. I'm probably a good solid 6 months because I kept procrastinating because I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing. And then I kind of had the realization how helpful your staff could be. So I scheduled regular calls with them to kind of help walk me through everything. And I finally got it up, and I had my first, giveaway. And it ended last week. And I announced the winner on, I can't remember what day it was, Monday. And Monday I got my first, I sold an original piece.
Boom.
And I also sold a print that day, announcing my sale. So that was exciting.
How many contacts did you gather?
Say it again.
How many contacts, leads did you gather?
I mean, I think I got about 150. So it's a decent start.
Yep.
And I've been trying to make as many of your Tuesday, Thursday calls as I can. And I've been listening to
workshops.
I've gone live for the first time. And one of you said, because I'm an abstract painter, so I know that that's a hard thing and kind of a concept to sell. So I'm marketing the inspiration. So that's kind of,
Awesome.
I'm following your advice and started from the beginning of painting, going live every week and working on it. So I just want to thank you guys. I like being a part of this community. It's been helpful.
Thank you, Kelly. That's awesome. It's awesome. Really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, happy to have you on board. And look, you do one contest like that, and you're like, okay, so 100 emails, 1 original, 1 print. Awesome result. Not huge, but awesome result, right? Now take the abstraction of doing 50 of them over the next 3 to 5 years, and then think about where you're at, and it just keeps building.
Exactly.
Momentum just
building the foundation.
Yep. And then and somebody was asking on Facebook, like, all it is, there's not that much of a secret sauce. It is knowing how to market on the high ROI stuff, not chasing the shiny objects, which is like endemic in the artist and photographer community. And I see people in the chat like, you do a WordPress site and you think that's going to be it, and then you do a Wix site and you think that's going to be it, and then you're like, nah, I'm gonna go to Shopify, and then you think that's it, and then you're like, someone across the street is selling a bunch of stuff on Etsy, and then you go to Etsy, and then after Etsy's done, maybe you try eBay, maybe you try something else. The premise of all of that is thinking that there is some sort of magical website or magical service or some list of high net worth buyers out there that exist, and it is all a giant myth. It is Bigfoot. Everybody's heard about Bigfoot. No one's ever seen him. Imagine that, right? That's what all of these things are when you're going and chasing these things. It is just marketing correctly, which is focusing on the high ROI activities, which we teach you, and then it's a game of pressure over time. It's literally just that. So, again, in your situation, Kelly, pressure over time. That is a great result right out of the gate on the first one. You just keep doing that. You keep your head down. Next thing you know, you wake up, you're 3 years older, your list is huge, you have a massive bill from your ESP because you have so many people on your email list, and fourth quarter comes along, and you're well into the 6 figures, sometimes getting into the 7 figures on sales, and that's the game. It's just how it goes, which is amazing. Thank you, and have a great weekend.
So I'll mention though that what Kelly was talking about there is I'll give you like an insight into our onboarding process when you become a new member. So the first thing that you do that we're big on is getting your website live as quickly as possible. And our team is like actively kind of pushing you to try to do that. And they will be available to you, like Kelly said, by phone, by chat, or whatever, because we want you to get this website live. And we also, more importantly, we want you to get it live according to best practices for an art gallery website, in the art industry, right? So we want that to get done. And then right after that, we get you right into a marketing launch workshop. It's every Wednesday. And that's where you get like a site audit. And then you go and start
14 days too. Did you say 14 days?
14 days. Yeah. 14 days is what we want everybody to do.
So from the time you sign up till the time you're live, until the time you can potentially take orders, 14 days. No thinking about it, no talking about it, no getting some other stuff prepped and getting some things going, and just get my fonts and my colors right. And then, I'll get some more photographs. And the next thing you know, it's 9 months and you haven't launched. No way. 14 days, get the boat in the water.
So and a lot of people get live in like 1 day or 2 days, but like 14 days is kind of like, we're setting the limit there because, people go over that. Some people take a month. But we're doing it because we know that there's always things that people are coming up with that they think they have to do before they get live and start taking orders, collecting leads, and doing the things that are actually going to grow the business. And they want to do all of those things and then launch. And we want them to launch with a critical setup and then chip away at any other detail that they have in mind. So anyways, back to what I was saying though. You get live in 14 days, then you go to the marketing launch workshop and you get the site audit. The team will also do a site audit if you can't attend the workshop. That's fine. It's for everybody. And you do the first marketing initiative. That's what she was referring to, the website launch giveaway. We have a whole playbook for it step by step because that's the first thing that we want you to do. And then after that, you are in the regular marketing where you're following our art marketing calendar, which is a 365-day-a-year plan. And you're attending, the regular workshops as you see fit. The workshops are Tuesday and Thursday every week at 1 p.m. Central. And that's where we're doing deep dives. We are doing Q&A. We are going over recent successes of artists and photographers on the platform that have done something recently that's important, that's working like on a specific tactic so that everybody can see it, learn from it, and level up on the spot. So you're not, wondering what to do or focusing on things that don't matter, that aren't going to get you a high ROI on your time.
Okay, Darren's got his hand up. Darren, go ahead. Are you there, Darren? Unmute. Let's see. There we go. That should be unmuted.
There we go. You unmuted me and I unmuted me, and then we both muted each other or something.
That's a heck of a library you got back there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, well, thank you. It helps with cleaning just to have that. So this was a smaller meeting with fewer amount of people, so I thought it'd be a good chance to dive in. And for anybody who hasn't maybe signed up for Art Storefronts, I have nothing but great things to say about it. I'm fairly new here, and I have looked for probably the last 3 years for a service similar to this. I've been doing a lot of sales of original work at shows and in galleries, but I also had like a Society 6 and kind of Etsy page, and it was always bugging me that I made no money off that. Whenever I sold something, I'd make like $4, and that I didn't know who was buying things from me. And when I finally saw your ad pop up through a friend on Facebook, I'm like, need to check this out. And it's just totally legit. And the fact that you guys are doing these meetings makes it feel much more like a community. Some of these things you sign up for and you're like, there's some people that are the pie in the sky making decisions, and you're getting the filtered down version, and you're just supposed to follow along, and it's really hands off, and people are left to their own devices. And if they are, you get all manner of crazy. So the fact that you guys are on top of this and have these plans in place is huge. And really, I joined just to get a great website and to have the printing capability built in where it was my audience. That was the whole deal. And so that's set up. I love it. I got what I wanted, but now that I'm diving into all of your marketing and all of these meetings, I mean, I know this stuff. I've worked some in an ad agency before. I know it's all about steering people to your site. It's just pushing them there. So I knew this was going to happen, but how you guys have it laid out and are having us go about it is great. It's designed for success. I get it. You guys are in marketing. We're artists. I don't want to make all those decisions. I don't want to do it all. Glad you're doing it. I'm still trying to wrestle with my Pixel and my Google, something that is new that Marco just posted. That's kind of my big thing, is getting that technology all evened out. And the last month, I've really been focusing on getting my Instagram feed filled up, because I had 18 followers on Instagram before I started your website. I mean, I'm up to like 150, but the fact is I had like 3 pictures on it. Nobody's going to come to my Instagram and say, oh my God, this guy produces a lot of art, because there's nothing on my Instagram. So I took a few weeks outside of the arena of your schedule to kind of fill up my Instagram, to fill up my Facebook page. So when people do start going there and I do start running ads, they're like, oh yeah, okay, this guy's got stuff. He's legit, whatever. And now if I steer them to my website, that's all looking good. So I'm just kind of really getting in the rhythm now. But anyway, just wanted to say hello. Love you guys. Love your staff. Everybody's been so helpful. I schedule meetings with them when I can't figure it out, and we get through it. And so just kudos. Thank you. It's the best.
Really thank you, Darren.
And
really appreciate it.
And Darren, right? Like, we all struggle with the tech stuff. We struggle with the tech stuff. You like trying to accomplish complicated digital marketing, which I've been doing for 15 years. Like, I don't have it all figured out. Like when you're a photographer or an artist, we know almost conclusively that you're usually a solopreneur, right? You don't have a staff. You don't have a marketing staff. You don't have a tech staff. You don't have an office outside where you can go yell at people when things are not working. You're in it alone. You're in it alone. That's just the nature of these businesses. And without the regular and consistent tech help, which, by the way, the goalposts are moving on what it seems like is like a weekly basis sometimes. Like, you got it all figured out. It's this thing. And then, it's like the Ford people are picking up the soccer goal and they're running across the field and moving it over there. It's like, why? I hadn't figured that thing out over there. Now I'm over here. So that is such a part of it. Like, without having the community, without us being able to analyze the data, going out there and checking and seeing what's working, And a perfect example is this. Like, even before you joined, Darren, like pre-COVID, we were not having these workshops. We realized that we needed to step up, have these workshops, talk to you guys. And what a profound thing for us, for our team, because it used to be a bunch of names and a little avatar in a group and maybe occasionally a phone call. Now we're like, I know people. I know people. I know what they're doing. I know what their art looks like. They know us. Like, it's been awesome. It's awesome on a lot of levels, and it's just never going to stop. This dumpster fire of a pandemic has been a tremendous blessing to this company because we've figured out how important it is to be close to your customers. The closer you get, the more successful everyone's going to be. And it's literally, I keep using the word catalyst. And that's what it is. Like before, here's your digital teaching, right? And by the way, the stats in like the digital education space are scary, okay? It doesn't matter what course, Coursera, Kajabi, Masterclass, no one ever finishes those things. No one ever finishes. Like the stats are like 20% of the people that sign up for the class like actually finish the whole thing because it's not enough. It's not enough. Effective learning does not take place in a vacuum without the level of support. So the crazy thing is that we're going to be doing this for the next 15 years. Twice a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and we keep experimenting and keep getting better. And we love this little track that we're on recently where we're going to start pulling in a lot more of the actual artists on the platform. Here's what I did. Here's how I was successful. Here's how you can do it. And then pepper the questions to them. We all get better, to Elizabeth's point earlier. So it's been like mega exciting for us too. But thank you for those kind words.
Thank you, Darren.
And feel free to invite me over for a glass of whiskey. I'd like to sit in that library and see what you have on the shelves. Oh, it's awesome.
Awesome. Any other Art Storefronts members that have jumped on here, we're asking you guys to raise your hand if you want to share your story or answer any questions or anything like that. It looks like we've got one here. Kennon?
Yep. I'm going to go unmute Kennon. Kennon, you're up.
All right. How are you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, Kennon.
So I am one of the weird ones. I started Art Storefronts probably back in November, and I didn't do anything with it because I'm transitioning from being a graphic designer / marketer to being an artist. So when I started, one of the things I realized was I needed art on my website.
Good place to start.
So I had to go create a bunch of art. I had some that was ready to go, but
is
really right now.
Is that yours behind you, by the way, on the wall there? We saw it for a second.
Well, yeah, that's one of mine.
Cool.
So
good color.
So I went and created a bunch of art, got some pictures taken. I'm working both traditionally and digitally, but what was interesting to me was when this whole COVID thing started and you guys started the workshop, that turned it into a community. And the support levels that I felt went from just, normal to just awesome. And that was what really kicked my butt to start thinking about, because my background is actually marketing and marketing design. So it kicked my butt to go from, you know what, I have a website, now I need to start putting things out. And you guys talk about different strategies and how to get Instagram done and that sort of thing. And that gets me thinking about what I need to do and the little bits and pieces that I can do. So I wanted to pop on here because a lot of people are full-time artists and have been that way for a while, have been searching. I'm starting from zero. Like there are 3 pieces of artwork on my site. And I got my first sale last night from following the playbooks.
Which one?
Yes,
Love it.
Kennon. Love it.
It was that one right there, actually.
Nice.
Which playbook? What'd you run?
I've been doing social media because my lists are really low. So I've been doing the Instagram lives. I've been doing taking that Instagram live, putting it on video.
Love it.
Taking the videos and so I've been running pure social because I have 0 email list.
Yep. That's how it starts.
And strangely enough, my first sale came off of TikTok. So there you go.
It's the second one we've heard. You know, it's so funny, Kennon, because we have a guy on the platform, okay, who he's a whale of a photographer. Okay. He gets sent around the world. Nature photography is his niche. And over 1 million followers on Instagram. Big deal, right? Planet Earth guy. And when he came aboard, he had 350 people on his email list. 1 million followers on Instagram, 350 people on his email list. And so what is he doing? He's doing the same thing everyone else is. Now he's got to start working on growing his email list, because ultimately your email list in this world that we live in right now, despite, lowered open rates and click rates and spam, it's literally the only thing we own. It's the only thing that we own. Everything else is rented land. Facebook, change the rules in a minute. Take all your followers away. Your people are not seeing your post. You own nothing. Instagram, same thing. It's rented. YouTube subscribers, all of it, it's rented. The email is still the most valuable thing that we can own, attention that we do own. Yes, you could say phone numbers. Yes, you can say address for snail mail. But that's a game, and I love it. And we're hearing good things about TikTok too.
Yeah, if you don't have the email address, you do not have a lead, right? And leads turn into sales. All you have is a follower. That's it. And that's what this photographer that Patrick is talking about. It's a perfect example. He wasn't getting good sales before he came to the platform, right? And yet he's got 1 million followers. You're like, how is that even possible, right? But because his email list was only 350, he wasn't converting them into true leads that he could actually start getting down the sales funnel and actually converting them into buyers, right? So that's some of the stuff that we talk about and teach. Kennon, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, so so a couple things. Honestly, for people who are on here who haven't bought yet, these guys did not pay us to come on here. All they did was posted a link and said, hey, this is going on right now. And we're like, what? And so we pushed the link and we're like, oh, hey, we'll stay up. Because honestly, it's part of the community. It's like you see a link and you've got some time, you just push the button and join in. And sometimes you listen and sometimes and most of the time you get something really good out of it. Now, I will say my background, I have an MBA in marketing, and I know how hard it is to start a marketing, any sort of marketing program from scratch. And one of my big things going into art was knowing that I was going to have to dig down and start everything from scratch. And that just was overwhelming to me, because I was like, not again. I do this all day, every day, but I don't want to start a completely different section. And when I found you guys, I was like, these guys have playbooks. They have all of the structure built. All I have to do is run the programs. And that to me was phenomenal. That was the reason I bought, because I could go build my own website. But honestly, you guys' website is way more amazing. The print on demand is one of the huge things I was looking for, because I know how important that is, coming from a background of online retail and that sort of thing. So huge, the things just keep getting better, and I love you guys, and thank you guys for doing this.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thanks for popping on. And yeah, to your point on POD, like as much as the POD is print on demand, as much as I love the print on demand and how wonderful it is, the reason I love it more than anything else, because it is not a high ROI use of your time. Driving to the printer and driving back and looking it over and making sure it's good and then worrying about the shipping, that is time you do not have. That is time that needs to be spent on the marketing. And no one out there, 99 out of 100 people out there have no idea how to compare one print or ink to the other. Now, that's not to say you don't offer high quality, but like artists obsess over that aspect, and it just gets in the way and prevents you from marketing. And while you're wasting your time on that, someone else is marketing and building a big business. So it's like, what do you want to do?
It's essentially the premise like of many different things, like search engine optimization, right? That's another one.
Yep.
But with the printing, it's like people, they should care about their product. They should care about their prints. But when they hear me talking about the printing that we have here, and we have articles published on our blog too that go into like a lot of the detail. It's like, oh wow, I didn't really know that much about printing until I heard him talk. And it's like, if I've got it covered, guys, that's exactly why. It's like I've got you covered. We've got you covered on the printing. We always will, right? So that because I want you guys to just have your mind, the mind share that you have focused like a laser on building leads, doing the marketing, because that's the only thing that's going to grow your revenue. That's all we know it, Yep. And the other thing too, it's like, that Kennon mentioned, he's an MBA in marketing, right? And I view this a little bit, what we're doing a little bit differently than many people would probably say it, but it's because, I've said this before. I went to business school, I went to USC, I went to the Marshall School of Business, top 15 business school in the United States, right? how did that help me in the business world? Not very much. Okay. There is real world information and experience that you get from running a business, being an entrepreneur. And I've been doing it for 20 years. And this is an entrepreneurship school as much as it is business and marketing consulting for artists.
It's real time. It's real time, right? It's not theory.
Time.
It's not a case study 4 years ago.
I've spent my entire career building startups. I advise other startups outside of the art industry as an investor. We advise 3,000 plus artists and photographer startups at Art Storefronts every week, 2 days a week. The amount of experience that is in that, it's my life's work. And we built this product, specifically for that. It's like my vision for this product for you guys, for everybody, was everything that I didn't have that killed me when I was trying to build all of these different businesses. And I don't know how to articulate that any more clearly. You can't really understand it unless you've gone through it. But the mentors that I needed, when I didn't have them, and I had to go find them and seek them out and hustle and, take people to coffee and oh man, it was so hard, and then every level you get to, you're trying to, you need more advice. You need, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You always need people that have done these things before you to help you out. And so it's as much of a business school that it is, than it is anything else. It's all of this stuff together. And it's the thing that I love about it the most. It gives me more joy to come week in and week out and work with all you guys, all the members, because you guys are hacking away at your entrepreneurship business. And that's exactly what's going on. And it's what I've done for my entire career. And I get extreme joy out of it because it's hard and you got to try different things. You got to iterate. You listen to the market and what it's telling you, and you got to bob and weave and bob and weave. And then there's a recession. So you got to transition. You got to have a new strategy, and we got to go. We got to always be on offense. And it's like, we're bringing everything that we've learned, because Patrick, you've been an entrepreneur too. Yep. And you've worked with me on many of my businesses, right? And you've been a whole part of all of these things. And we're bringing all of that philosophy and learning to these workshops so that it can get passed down.
Jenny, you're up next. Jenny, go ahead. You're unmuted.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Painting while I'm listening. So
multitasking. We love it.
Getting ready. It's getting my inventory. Somebody said, I think it was Kennon, who said, "Oops, I did it. Now I have to show it." So it's kind of I'll show you mine later. But I just want to say thank you. This I, like Kennon, have a full background in marketing and graphic design. And because of the graphic design, I am a neurotic perfectionist. Hearing different people say, just do it. Get it up.
Just ship it.
Work on it step by step. I don't have any idea what the word playbook is, but I'm assuming it's a marketing calendar kind of thing, where this is what you do here and then there. But at the same time, I'm anxious to get whoever it is, Patrick or Chris or Taylor or somebody, to instigate a demo and get this old dog into a new trick. Thanks.
Well, perfect, Jenny. Just request a demo and let our team talk to you. The playbooks, by the way, so there's an art marketing calendar, right, which covers the whole year, tells you exactly what to do on every day. But the playbooks are within the calendar, we might want you to run a tactic. And so the playbook is a step-by-step exact process to get that tactic done. Like, go here, use this, text, download this email template, post it here at this time of day, all that type of stuff. The playbook is the entire strategy of the different tactics that we're asking you guys to do all year long and that we're working with you on.
It's sort of becoming the standard, but video's toggling off. It's sort of becoming the standard out there in marketing land too. Everyone talking about a playbook, but the easiest way to think about it is if I was going to ask you to make a meal, I'd give you a recipe, right? Better still, I'd give you a recipe with pictures, Better still than the recipe with pictures, I'd give you a recipe with pictures and video. Better still than a recipe with pictures and video, we'll also do live chats to walk you through the steps step by step. We'll look at the emails. We'll audit what you're doing. And that's what a playbook is. And it's critical because there's too many moving pieces in these things to do things effectively. Like big picture, you know, selling art, us selling software, it's fundamentally about attention, okay? You need eyeballs to get the attention. Sadly, if you go back like 30 years and you think in the TV model, there was CBS, NBC, and ABC. It was really easy if you needed to get attention. You would buy ads on those three and you would get it. Fast forward to today, attention is so fragmented and spread all over the place that you really have a tremendous amount of moving parts. And so you get a playbook, it's got the pictures, it's got the video, you have the coaching, you realize how to execute what we call omni-channel marketing. Your message, whatever it is, whether it's sharing your art to build followers or it's a sale, hits all of the channels in once, and they all work together and they all dovetail together, and that is how you effectively get and capture attention. And just like riding a bike, first you're on the training wheels, you probably fall, skin your elbows up a couple of times, and those are just the licks that you need to take to get to the point where the training wheels come off, you trade the bicycle for a motorcycle, and you're really rolling. You know, fundamentally, selling art is about putting your art, your photography out there, building followers, having a sale when it's the right time to have a sale, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. When you do the marketing effectively and you get better and better and better at it, you wake up, it's a couple years later, you have a good list, you know how to execute a sale, you know how to get your message out there, and then it's literally a game of pressure over time. It's just that. There is no magic list, there is no magic light switch, there's no magic consultant that you can hire. You have to do the marketing, and it's a game of pressure over time. And what a great game for you guys to be playing. You know, I use these other analogies, like a lot of other jobs people change. Like, you know, they were a plumber. They don't want to be a plumber anymore. Now they're hanging drywall. They were a tax accountant. They got over that. Now they're into marketing. Like, you're artists. You're photographers. You're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. You can't help it, right? You're creatives. So knowing that and knowing that you're going to have to put the work in to build this business is so much more rewarding because it's just you're just investing in yourself, and every year will get better and bigger, and you will continue to build the business. And everybody's living a lot longer. So whether you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, you still have this ability to effectively sell art online. That's incredibly attractive when you understand 10, 20, 30, 40 years potentially. Like, it's all about attention. It will never change. It's just attention. So that's what the playbooks help you do. They're really just focused on how to get attention and how to keep it. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to answer a couple questions in the chat.
Sure.
And before I do that, though, any other Art Storefronts members that randomly popped on that, if you want to share your story, if you could click the raise hand button, would love to have you do that. So Gold Woman asked, that's a great name, by the way. Good username there. Gold Woman. I have over 70 TIFF files for reproduction. However, many of the files are larger than 100 megabytes, which is our upload limit size. She says 160 to 175 megabytes. Why won't ASF, Art Storefronts, allow Bayphoto to handle these files since Bay is capable of doing it? So here's the thing, is the printers, the actual printers have resolution maximums on them that Bayphoto uses. So when they're receiving those files, or any other printer, the printer actually can't print more than 2880 DPI, right? And what is even more interesting is that most of the printing companies, you can confirm this with Bay, but they only print at the 1440 DPI resolution for speed purposes because nobody can really tell the difference, and that's what they do. And so the first things first is, you know, all of that extra data that's in your file, it's not even being printed or used anyway by the printer. So it's not correct to assume that it is. And, you know, I would recommend talking to Bayphoto and asking them about the quality of the files that we're passing on. And I will assure you that you will not lose a single ounce of quality on your images with 100 megabyte uploads. And they will tell you that too. That is 100% fact. So don't worry about it, Gold Woman, you are good. We obviously care about the quality of the production very much, and the quality will be there if you have a 100 megabyte TIFF file, for sure. Kathy asked, I'm very interested in joining and have a few questions. I watched your previous video and you shared She's talking about the transaction fees. So is there a transaction fee for jewelry and digital downloads? No, there is not. It's 0%. But at your state, Kathy, when you're getting into like the details of that stuff, the best thing to do is just request a demo. And our team will just go over all of that with you at your pace and show you everything. So no worries. I would just request a demo and talk to the team, and they'll give you all of that stuff. It sounds like you're at that step. For anybody that's interested too, I should just mention, and you want to request a demo and talk to our team to do a discovery call, see if Art Storefronts is a good fit for you. Click on the request a demo button on our website. I think we have it in our show notes. Do we have show notes going right now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah. So it'll be in the show notes, but if you go to our website at any time, it's always in the upper right-hand corner. There's a, request a demo button. You fill out the form. It takes like, 10 seconds. And then somebody will reach out to you when they can and hear about what you're up to, what your goals are, what you're trying to do, see if you're a good fit, and answer any detailed questions that you have and go from there. I'll also mention that we extended our April sale for new members who want to join. We're running the biggest sale that we've ever had to join Art Storefronts in May. But it'll end at the end of the month. But I've been saying to everybody, because we could not get back to everybody in April, get it in sooner rather than later so that you're not waiting last minute, so that they can schedule times and get you on the calendar to chat and run a demo and things like that if you think you might want to join.
Got a question about selling, and then Fergus, will grab you next. I sell signed limited edition prints of my photographs, so how would that be handled? Age-old question, right? Because if you're going to sign them, then they're going to have to get shipped to you. You're going to have to sign them, and then you're going to have to ship them to the people. So the quickest answer is you charge more for the signed ones than you do the non-signed ones. Or what is the or, Nick? What do we have? People that do like digital signature, right?
The way that you do it is we have a back, like in your site manager, in your back end, there is a place that you can place orders. Like if somebody calls you on the phone and you need to put an order in, you put the order in so that it triggers the automated fulfillment on the spot, and and it goes to the customer. In that same area, you would put in, in that same area, after you receive an order for a limited edition, you can go back there and you can actually just place a print order. So you place a print order for the limited edition, and you specify the shipping address to come to you. When it comes to you, you keep all of the packaging because it's beautiful packaging. You open it up, you sign it, and you number it. You put it right back in. You go and you ship it right to your end customer, and that's the process. So that way you can utilize all your you utilize the same printing company that's shipping all your prints, so the quality is consistent. You have print to print consistency no matter what customer is getting it, and that's the best process.
Okay, Fergus, over to you. Go ahead.
I'll just mention though, like for example, Megh. Keep an eye out for Megh because I know she's going to come on here too. She's another Art Storefronts member. If you're doing high volume like limited editions, sometimes what our members do is they might buy like 5 or 10 at a time just to have them, so they've got them ready to go. And then when an order comes in, they sign it, number it, ship it out, etc.
Okay, Fergus, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, aloha, everybody.
Hey, Fergus.
I'm the guy. I was onboarded about 16 days ago. I'm at day 11 on my giveaway calendar stuff. It's kind of funny. I've been going back and forth between different places in the playbook area and in the marketing sections and whatnot. And to be honest, I've gotten lost a few times, which is totally okay.
Totally.
A lot of times I get wrapped up in the details, but I decided to jump on board because I'm competitive. And I actually saw another guy in my city was doing his giveaway. He had mentioned—
Where are you located, Fergus?
I'm in Tacoma, Washington.
Okay.
So there was another artist in town. I follow him on Instagram, and he had, I guess, did his giveaway. He'd been on board for, I don't know, 7 or 8 months, I believe, and just now started working the process and stuff and was getting some traction. I saw it, got competitive, and was like, okay, it's the time. And honestly, Reed, who the gentleman that onboarded me, super, super nice guy, stayed in touch with me over a year. For years, I've been shooting photography and have been selling mostly one-on-one.
By the way, Fergus, so Reed's been working, for context for everybody else, Reed's been working at the company for like over 5 years. He's brought on like 1,000 or artists or photographers. We established that actually a few days ago. But just so people understand, Reed's one of the people like on our outreach team that talks to you when you request a demo. How chill is Reed?
Extremely. And here's a quick funny story. After we were done, he's like, well, Fergus, I just have to tell you I'm worthless now. And I didn't know what that meant. But he was saying pretty much, he's like, well, you're signed up and stuff. Our marketing team's going to get a hold of you. They'll take care of you, all that type of stuff. But you can reach out to me if you like, but I'm worthless at this point. So I was like, okay.
That's so funny.
So anyways, yeah, I launched my online giveaway. Within 24 hours, I had 100 emails.
Whoa.
I think I'm like 130 right now.
Whoa.
I've had
what kind of stuff do you shoot? What's your work look like?
The majority of my stuff is landscape.
Okay.
I focus on my local area because there's a lot of local passion for our city.
Love it.
We've always kind of played second fiddle to Seattle. So there's a lot of Seattle photographers, a lot of Seattle photography. So I decided I was going to focus on something unique, my own city. We've got some unique stuff here. So that's pretty much the angle that I've taken, and it seemed to do pretty well.
Awesome.
That's a great start. Just keep rolling.
That's a great start.
Yeah. And he and I both share a middle name in a language that only has 13 letters in its alphabet. How do you pronounce yours, just out of curiosity?
Mine's Kanai Aupuni.
Kanai Aupuni, and I'm Ka'aha Lealea.
Nice.
Yeah. For my 1/32 of Hawaiian blood that I have.
Hawaiian, there you go.
Yeah, 1/32. Well, that's an awesome result.
I was married on Lanai. My wife and I got married on Lanai.
We're all talking Hawaiian stuff. This is awesome. It is a
I
long
know.
prize.
I love that place.
Yeah.
Very special place.
Oh, and another quick note too. The last time I jumped on, Taylor took a look at my website, and I pretty much fixed, I believe, what he was telling me to fix. So Taylor, I did what you told me to do.
So you were on the website audit, like the marketing launch workshop. Is that what you're referencing?
Yes.
Yeah. So you came on there, and then our marketing team audited your setup, and then gave you the advice, and then you just made all the changes.
Yeah. So yeah, I listened to what Taylor said. Went in the other room, cried, came back, fixed everything. No, it wasn't that bad. He was really targeted, appreciated it, did the best I could. I know there's stuff there that isn't perfect. I get really bogged down in the details and stuff, so I'm just taking it piece by piece. I know this is a long game, not the short game, so that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Well, Fergus, did you want to share anything else, or is that all?
That's it. My newbie story.
Thank you so much for hopping on. It's good to see you.
Welcome aboard. And put your website in the chat so people can check it out.
Okay.
Okay, another question on there. Somebody asked, Michael Sabello asked, there's a one-time start fee, and then is there a monthly fee or other fees? Yeah, so there's a one-time membership fee, and that covers you for life on the marketing consulting and all that type of stuff. And then there's a monthly fee from there. What I would do is for all of the pricing details and to go over all of the different things, the best thing to do is just request a demo and talk to someone like Reed. We've got, a team of these people that are speaking to artists and photographers. So that's what I would do if you're looking for all of those details. Just request a demo.
Yep.
Okay, so what else do we have here on? Yeah, and again, a reminder: any other Art Storefronts members that are on here that want to share your story, like Fergus, like some of the others, these have been awesome. Haven't they been awesome?
Yeah. And by the way, typical fly by the seat of our pants. No idea. Hey, have an idea. Let's do it. Let's go live. Turn it on. Ready, go.
Because you know what, guys, and I'll just say this: like, it was so funny when I posted it in our group, and Ron Olcott, who was just on here earlier, he's like, "Man, you are brave." Right. And I'm just, you guys, I'm at the point in my career. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. I've said that multiple times. Can we just be real? Like, can we all just be real with each other for once? Right. Like, this is who we are. This is who we are. I'm not afraid. We work our tails off for customer satisfaction to help you guys win. My entire life is you guys winning at this point. That's all it is. I'm not afraid of it. If there's a guy that's really unhappy and he's going to hop on here, the first thing I'm going to do is correct it and figure out how to get that guy on the right path. but I'm not afraid of it. This is just who we are. And so if you're not a member, it's like, you can see nobody, not a single person that's come on here today, did we ask specifically, like to come on and just start talking about it. It's just a free for all. But I'm really big on shipping as an entrepreneur. Like, shipping means like execute, don't overthink it, and we're setting the tone. And like Fergus just said, it's like, I know you guys are perfectionists, I know that. And it's everybody is, that's what makes you great at what you do, right? But we're the entrepreneurs, we're the business people. I'm the one that's built big businesses, and I've gone through all of these things. I failed at entrepreneurship ventures. Patrick has too. And so we're here to like give you guys that whole other side and help you through all of that. And and I think that's the difference maker at the end of the day. But it's like, let's just be real, right? Like, here we are. I'm the owner. I'm the CEO. I'm talking to you guys. Let's just let her rip, right? So I want our members to have the same philosophy when they're executing on the marketing. They're like, gosh, I don't know if I want to go live and follow the live playbook. I don't know if I want to do this. Like, this is uncomfortable. I've never done it before. I want to get all my ducks in a row. I have everything perfect before I go. But that's not what makes you successful. It's the volume of experiments that you run. It's the volume of the marketing that you do. It's not any one thing that you hang your hat on. It's just going and going. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake on one of the playbooks, or you're going to miss a month because you're busy with something else and you're like, oh my gosh. Or you were just flat out like, just kind of lazy about it. I mean, that happens to all of us. No big deal, right? You don't do marketing for a month and you're like, gosh, I'm so bummed that I didn't do that. I was lazy. No worries. You just pick it right back up wherever you left off and you get right back on that horse and you keep doing the marketing. It is what it is. That's the truth. That's how we all are, right? We're not all perfect all the time doing everything. But anyways, so we're shipping, and I'm trying to set the example for all of our members as well. Just seeing, like, they're all seeing this right now in our group and they're like, gosh, these guys, like, Nick is crazy. Like, he's just willing to throw these things on there, and who's going to jump on? Like, anybody could jump on, but I'm not afraid of it. It's just like, let's let everybody see it. This is who we are. If we're a fit for you, great. If not, no worries. Like, it's all good.
Yeah, and we're getting some. God, what is wrong with my video? We're getting some questions from jewelers asking about jewelry, so we could probably touch on that. What about jewelry?
Yeah, you could sell jewelry on the plot. Like, some of our members do that. If you're like just a jewelry business, I mean, we're best with wall art, right? Because all of our features are geared towards people who are selling things on the wall, like the special sauce features, right? The wall previews, the augmented reality, the media type previews, like just the framing, all that different stuff. But we do have sculptors on the platform. I think we have a couple of jewelers. A lot of people sell jewelry in addition to what they already do. No problem with any of that stuff, like those merchandise items. People are selling all sorts of different stuff on the platform. You can set it up as a standard product. That's what we call it internally, and have all your typical options and drop-down menus. We have people selling like T-shirts and things like that as well.
Okay, hold on. So, JP Lopez, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Let's see how this works. You're on. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a bunch of questions, and I don't mean any of these to be snarky.
No, we love snarky. I'm one of the snarkiest people you've ever met.
I have been a photographer for 40 plus years. I have my own website. I've been entering a lot of international competitions, winning. And I mean, because I've been doing it for such a long time, if I wasn't successful, I should have stopped a long time ago. So here are my questions.
Really quick, how much of your art do you sell a year, if you had to guesstimate it?
Well, I do more exhibiting than selling.
Okay, so how much art do you sell a year?
I don't know, maybe 1,500, something like that. Not a lot.
Just $1,500 of art a year right now. I'm just trying to get a gauge of where you're at.
Yes.
Okay, and you're doing these exhibitions, and are you getting invited to these, or are you can you tell me about those a little bit more?
Well, they're international competitions and national, and I submit. There's a certain level that I submit to, and of course I look at the jurors and so on. So in almost every case, I've been an award winner. So here's one of my questions. I am very troubled by the fact that you say photography and photographers and artists.
Okay, let's start there. We get this all the time. So we have to say, first of all, photographers are artists. Period. End of story. Done. We believe that 1,000%, 1,000,000%. Photographers are artists. When we started doing our marketing years ago, when we just said artists, like 80% of the photographers that would see our marketing said, "Oh, forget you guys. It sounds like you don't work with photographers." We're like, "Oh my goodness, we're going to have to say photographers and artists," right? And so that's why we do that. It's deliberate. It's what we have to do from a marketing standpoint. Please do not take it personal.
Okay. Specifically, I'm a fine artist, photographer, and
like everybody on our platform that's a photographer. That's what everybody does here.
Well, but I mean, I construct a lot of my images. I don't take sunset pictures in Florida, for instance. Okay, that's one point. Another point is I have my own website, which I'm very happy with. Can I keep that, or would I have to convert to whatever website platform you use?
Why are you happy with it? Because you just told me, and I mean, look, and I'm going to I have to challenge your way of thinking a little bit, right? Because that's part of my role. And it may be a little uncomfortable, but you just told me that you've only sold $1,500. So when I hear that, it sounds to me like the business is not working. And so the website's not doing anything for you. So I want to know, why do you love that website? Is it because you personally love it, how it looks, or is it because it's actually working and producing a business result? Important
it looks
question.
Very good.
What's that?
It's very nice looking.
Okay, so it's not producing a business result, but you love it personally.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's what you want to do and keep it, I'd say go ahead. If you want better results, switch to ours.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing, right? It's not working. It's like, I heard you talk about the international and the exhibitions, and that's why I asked you about your sales, because it's like the photographer we referenced earlier. We have world-class photographers on our platform. This isn't a platform of photographers that are doing sunsets or anything like that. The caliber is extremely high. Okay, people are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from their own websites. That's where we want to get you. If you really have good content, you should be selling $100,000 a year from your website, not $1,500. But I have to challenge the way of thinking, because this is and don't feel bad about it. This is a mindset that happens so frequently in the industry, where people are like, I did my site, I designed it, I love it, it's beautiful. And it's like, yeah, but what are the sales? And it's like, I don't, you have sales results like that. And it's like, okay, well, it's not working.
Yeah,
right?
The problem is there's no pretty website button at the ATM when you pull up, right?
Exactly.
I haven't seen one of those on the ATM. I told you we like snarky. I like being snarky too. It just doesn't work that way, right? Like, if you want to have a pretty portfolio site, that's fantastic. You can have a pretty portfolio site. If you're in this as a business and you want to grow it as a business and derive some revenue from it, then you need to have a site that is equipped to sell art online. That's the only thing that matters.
But to answer your question though, if you're really, this is not the only time that this comes up. Some people are like, they really want to keep their site up front because they haven't quite understood everything that is involved in our site and the technology and all the marketing. Like, as soon as you start doing the marketing, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, like, how am I even going to do this? Right? Because we have all of the features that you need, and these platforms just don't have them. They don't have them for the specific things that artists and photographers need to grow their business and to execute on the specific marketing tactics that are going to work for you. So you can absolutely launch with that. I think And we will not force you, because I know that eventually the right decision will become self-evident to you. Because if you really want to grow your sales, then you have to challenge your own way of thinking and go, do I just love this pretty site, or am I more concerned with results? Because I'll tell you this, all I care about is results. I do not care about pretty websites. I've seen them most of the time when people say they've got a pretty website, it's really not that pretty. Like, I'd love to see it. I'd love to, like, if you want to drop it in the chat, like, a lot of people, I would argue that, like, oftentimes, like 80% of the time, the pretty website that somebody is really committed to, if I showed it to 10 people and I showed like one of our best art storefront sites, like to a focus group, they would be like, I like this one better, So I don't want to do it because I don't want to, like, criticize like your website, like on the fly, or your way of thinking. I want you to just internalize this and just think about it, and as just a way of thinking, because I was referencing the world-class photographer earlier that's Patrick was talking about with 1 million followers, and he barely had any sales. This guy is as big as it gets, right? He has 1 million followers on Instagram, and he had 350 people on his email list, and it's because his business was broken. The whole thing has started with his website. He was on a different platform, right? And then all of his marketing and everything that he was doing was not producing results. And that's the real problem. That's the real problem. That's the problem that you have to solve. And that's the problem that we're interested in solving.
I have another question. Who goes to your site? I assume that not every sale or everybody looking at your site is necessarily through your own contacts. The artist's own contacts. I assume that artists, interior design people and so on, go to your site to look for people. Is that right? Or is it only?
So we are not an online art gallery like website. Like, we are literally the exact opposite of like a Fine Art America. So we are helping you build your own business with your own customers. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But one of the problems I have is so many of my contacts are other photographers.
Right.
And they
common problem we hear about all the time.
Common problem.
We all get our hackles up a bit if anybody does any selling to each other. Now, it doesn't mean that we haven't bought things from each other, but it's kind of a big no-no.
Yeah. So here, the thing is that you just need to solve your marketing problem, right? Like, you need more leads. You need to be fishing in other ponds. So that when I say that, you need to be doing marketing so that your work is getting exposed to consumers who actually like your subject matter and have an emotional connection to your subject matter, which means they might at some point buy. And you have to execute on marketing in order to make that happen, right? And that is our entire program. That is what we are working on with our members. That's what we're coaching on. That's how you build that's how you're going to build your business. That's how you're going to solve that problem, right? So you need to do like specific marketing tactics, and you need to do it consistently over time. And that will get you more exposure. It'll get you more email addresses on your email list. And that's what eventually will turn into sales. So you just have, you've got the common marketing problem, and you've got to solve it one way or another to get that $1,500 a year, up to a different level.
Yep. Joyce, it's just a marketing problem. That's it.
It's just a marketing problem.
Everyone's got a marketing problem. It's just
Joyce, you are exactly the same as 99% of the people that join Art Storefronts. But what I would say is, think about what we're talking about. Keep following us. It's probably not the right time. And, the right decision will become self-evident to you at some point in the future, or not. And that's okay either way.
Yeah, I tend to make the joke, like we've learned, and then Courtney, you're up next, but we've learned, like Nick and I, over the course of this whole thing, that we started out the company hardcore content marketing, right? Amazing blog posts, amazing podcast episodes, tooting my own horn, humble brag, and putting out really, really solid content. And what we found is it's just not enough. Like, you can't just put out great content and expect it to work, because there's a mindset shift that you have to go through on your end. And I constantly reference, have you seen The Matrix?
Of course.
I'm seeing if my soundboard works. I actually have it here. Hold on. Oh, boo, it's letting me down. But anyway, when Morpheus is there with like the red pill.
You take the blue pill. Right. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland.
So that's what it is. It's like a red pill, blue pill situation, right? Like, get over these self-limiting beliefs. Does art sell online? Yes, it does. Do you have to do marketing? Yes, you do. Is there no magic list or no high worth net worth investor pool or series of buyers or whatever else that exists out there? Fish do not jump in the boat. Once you like break down all the tropes in your mind and you realize, okay, I actually have to build a business like everyone else builds a business, it all becomes very easy. Then the tactical just comes in. You get started, you stay at it consistently, and it's pressure over time. We say that all the time, but it's so true.
And the thing too is that, like, it's always what is in your mind, you guys. Like, your mindset, like your thinking, the quality of your thinking, what information you have that's guiding your decisions is usually where the biggest problem is, right? And so if like, the advice that I just gave to Joyce could completely change her life. Could completely change that one. Just if she can understand that the beautiful website that she loves is totally subjective, and it's not, and that it's not performing. And so it doesn't matter how great or different of a photographer she thinks she is, and she's probably awesome, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, if you got one of those things, in your mind, it's a mental roadblock, and it could be the one thing that once you just remove that layer, it opens up your whole world, right? Same thing with, whether it's image file sizes or it's the marketing, like how you don't know how to do the marketing and you need to solve the marketing problem, right? It's usually just one or two or three of these things that everybody has in their head at any given time. And these mental, roadblocks happen at every level of success, right? And so part of my job is identifying these things and stripping away the layers and challenging the way that everybody is thinking so that they can think more clearly and go, you know what, I never thought of it that way. And you know what? That's the highest value thing that I can do for all of you. Oftentimes it's just to correct that one thing and get it out of the way so that you can just start moving.
Yep. Okay, Courtney, you're up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. I don't know if you can
Courtney.
hear me. Can you?
Yeah, we
Hi.
got you.
How's
We
it
got
going,
you.
guys?
Good.
Okay. It's first time doing it with the headphones on, so
They look comfortable. They look really comfortable.
they are. Actually, it's Joyce. Is that right? Lopez?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she asked an interesting question, and the funny thing is, I joined Art Storefronts 18 months ago. I have not gone live officially until this week. It only took a pandemic. So it's crazy, I know, because you guys have been fantastic in terms of these Zoom meetings. They have kept me going, but in the meantime, I had been building a live painting business for my brand, and a lot of the work that I was doing was with pro athletes and high-end sports events, and it was gaining a lot of traction literally like right after I signed up for Art Storefront. So I put building the website on the back burner. I was going off of my previously built Wix website, which was not selling anything, though after every event I was offering limited edition prints, hand embellished, of the pieces that I created at that event, because I was getting contacts from those events, funneling them into my Aweber, and then I did not have anything streamlined whatsoever. It was more like, get an email out and then on to the next event. But I'm serious, when it took a pandemic for me to literally get into my Art Storefronts marketing and building the website, and now I'm so excited to have this website, even though it's not complete. They always say, just get it in the water. And I have it in the water. And even though I have more to build on it, I have both sites currently existing, because one showcases the events, but the other one is really going to help me build my sales funnel. So, or at least the sales that I want to have generating from my business. So, I mean, look, we all do it differently, but I will say another thing, which is that the support is absolutely incredible. I felt like I hit some roadblocks, like when I couldn't figure out how to upload something or how to tweak something on my website, I would jump in the chat box and immediately someone was there to help me. So every single day I've been doing that. A lot of them probably know me by now because I'm still tweaking that site. But I don't know if this is helping at all, but I just wanted to offer that perspective for you guys and give you guys a huge shout out, because just jumping in and seeing you guys live in Zoom and knowing that we can hop in and listen and connect with other artists and photographers has been so uplifting for me personally, and I know a lot of other artists, and it's also been a great way to connect with other creatives. So thank you guys for all the wonderful work that you're doing and being so dedicated. So
love that.
Thank you, Courtney. Really appreciate that.
I would also say I've seen your work, and I'm very optimistic for you because your subject material has diehard, passionate fans of it, right? Like those individual sporting types. I mean, many of them buy their body weight in gear for that particular person, that particular sport. So once you get that thing live and cooking, you've heard me on these things a lot, right? I don't recommend going after cold traffic with Facebook ads. For you, different story, right? Like Courtney has nothing but like the most famous athletes. She's got pictures with herself in these guys all over the place, like Joe Namath and golfers and baseball players and all of this. Like they have diehard, passionate fans that will go nuts. So that is like, we talk about like, well, what niche should I be in and what should I paint? Like you want to get a diehard, raving, lunatic fan group and work backwards. That works incredibly well. That's what Megh has done so well, right? So I think in your case, once you get humming on that, like Facebook ads are actually going to be a big deal for you. Like target fans of Joe Namath, target fans of Michael Jordan or whoever else you're doing. So yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Megh, she's right here. Courtney, thank you so much. That was just awesome. Really appreciate you hopping on.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so Megh. Megh is a painter on the platform. Megh, how long have you been with Art Storefronts?
I think 3 years, 3.5.
Megh is a really successful painter, sells a lot. Megh, could you share just your general story with Art Storefronts? I mean, it's been a while, so.
Sure. I came on with Art Storefronts when I was in the process of getting licensed with KU, University of Kansas. And I was part of the process of getting that licensing was being able to fulfill a pretty big number of orders. And at the time I was on Wix and self-fulfilling, so printing every order I received and shipping it. And with this licensing was going to come like a much larger influx of orders. And so that's, I just happened to see an ad for Art Storefronts at the time. And it was the auto fulfillment that really snagged me because I was able to then have that be part of my proposal to KU to say, look, listen, I can fulfill any quantity of orders for this. And I was able to switch it on licensing and my site, it all kind of went live at the same time and it just,
That's awesome. And the print fulfillment, it's a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
How has that been for you?
Oh my God, it's such a game changer. If there's anybody watching who, I just hopped in, so I don't know if you guys have talked about this already, but if there's anyone watching who is currently doing their own order fulfillment, so, getting an email that you've gotten an order, getting it printed by someone or printing it yourself, packing it up, emailing the person, shipping it out, it takes a huge amount of time. And for me, like I was running back and forth from UPS a couple times a week, and it was just like it was consuming all my time. It was such a suck.
Yeah, and this is what most people don't understand is like when you actually start selling and you reach a little bit of scale, like you need to understand what your world is going to look like if you don't have this stuff dealt with, right?
Yeah, I mean you're either going to be paying somebody to do this for you, or you're going to be spending most of your time printing. And if you're like me and you may not be like the most organized person, which like we sometimes artists get this bad rap, and keeping track of the orders that I had received, printed and shipped wasn't really my strong suit. So sometimes one would get like left in my trunk and I'd forget about it for a while. And with Art Storefronts, it's all automated. So someone places an order, it goes straight to the fulfillment. Then all of the emailing to the customer is automated, and you can personalize it. And then I can hop in and send personal emails on the back of that. But it's all taken care of, and that is a huge time saver for me.
Let me ask you about this. I've actually never asked you about this. You know, so for everybody who doesn't know this, when you're a member and you get print and you need to deal with print order issues, like let's say a customer cancels an order, like right after they place it, or you need to change the shipping from like 2-day to, you know, ground or something like that, you would normally have to contact your printing company and like facilitate all that. Our team, the Art Storefronts team, is actually in between you and the printing company. Not that you can't talk to them, but just the literal purpose to try to save you time, right? And take it off your hands. So you can be like, hey guys, can you get this canceled for me? And our team is like, yep, we got it. We'll get that done for you. And we go and we contact the printing company, and the printing company, they have an obligation to Art Storefronts, right? So if they don't know who you are, right? Like for any photographer or artist who joins, they know that they have to perform for the Art Storefronts members with a specific level of detail and quality, right? And so that's why we do that way. So it's like when our team says, hey guys, order number, 465, you need to do this and this and this, they get back right away, they get it done, and we deal with it. And then we get back to you and say, hey, it's done, it's all good. Like, because you're doing a lot of volume, you have situations like this that come up all the time. How does it help you? Oh, Megh, I think you're muted. Okay.
All right, Patrick, did you mute me?
No, I will if you get too loquacious. You know me.
Yeah, I had something like that happen this morning where I had to cancel an order. Somebody emailed. It was kind of a sad situation, and she said, "Hey, can I cancel this?" And I just, while I was having coffee, feeding my kids breakfast this morning, sent a message over Slack and said, "Hey, can you guys cancel this order for me?" And they just took care of it. And it was something that normally, if I didn't have that, I would have to find time to go sit in front of my computer and deal with that. And, I'm like all of us, many of us, I'm home with my kids right now. And, I'm finding little pockets here and there, but it's very helpful for situations like that, because it probably wouldn't have been taken care of for like a week without that.
Yeah. And you might have to call the company or call your rep, or do all the back and forth. And it's just, see, that's like, the reason I ask Megh about that, you guys, is because I think it's really important to know that, we have Art Storefronts built. So like, even if you're just starting out or you're at scale and you're selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, or even $1 million a year, like we have galleries that are doing significant volume on our platform. It doesn't matter where you at, like, it's thought through and it's ready for that. So like, it's ready for you to scale to higher levels. So Megh, any other final parting words?
I would say,
who's like looking at us or doesn't know us and thinks I'm crazy.
I get a lot of messages from people on Instagram who ask if people have seen my story or seen me in the ads, and ask like, is this actually real? Is this true? People don't believe that it's possible to do a big volume as an artist or like make it work. I would say it all is true, and it is very possible. It takes work, but having a platform that fulfills your orders so you can spend your time painting and spending time on the higher level business is huge. So go for it.
And show off the piece behind you, Megh.
Oh, there's can you see it?
Yeah. Is that the original or is that a print?
This is the original. We're kind of looking at a relaunch now for when football comes back in September.
So LIV is the Super Bowl that the Chiefs just won. Megh is a huge Chiefs fan, and talk about the confetti because it's kind of cool.
So when they won the Super Bowl, the cannons on the field shot all of that red and gold confetti, and I was able to get a big bag of that confetti from one of the groundskeepers for the team, and I actually worked it into the painting. Let's see if I can I can't flip my camera around, but you can kind of see it. There. So I'm working on, we were just about to launch, like big launch as COVID hit, literally like the day things shut down, we had to cancel a big party. So we're looking at ways to like, you know, relaunch it in the fall, which is kind of good. We have a little more time this way to plan ahead. It was all on the fly right after the Super Bowl. So in a way, it's kind of a blessing.
Will that be the last Super Bowl for a while full of fans? Oh, it's terrible to think about.
I know. Who knows? I hope not, but you know,
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, thank you, Megh, for hopping on and taking the time. We appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else did too.
Yep. Of course, yes. Send me questions if you guys have them.
Great.
Awesome.
Have a good weekend, Megh.
Thanks. You too. Bye, guys.
I'm upset I didn't get a chance to mute you, but next time. There's always next time. Adam Shaw, you're up next. Adam Shaw, go ahead.
Hi. First, I want to thank you guys for this is the third Zoom summit that I've hung out with you with, and I really appreciate what you're putting out there. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
I just want to tell you a little bit about where I'm coming from and see how you field it. I'm a professional artist. I've been showing in galleries for about 25 years, generating, in the good days, generating over $250,000 of sales of original art, only original art, never sold reproductions. Last couple of years, for a number of reasons that we don't need to get into, gallery sales for me started going soft. Briefly, I would just say that I survived the Sonoma fires. I live in Northern California. My work changed a little bit and some gallery things changed. So sales have sort of dried up, and I've been thinking about other ways to create income streams from my work. And two things. One is, as a professional artist with a long career and a huge body of work, and probably sold 1,000 original paintings, and I have an inventory of probably close to or more than 300 pieces. I had always dreamed of kind of being in the canon, you know, but I don't live in New York, and although I've had gallery representation all around the country and sold all around the world, I never really got like into the club. And as recently as a couple of months ago, was still dreaming of getting in the club. Meanwhile, the club I'm getting into is like the poorhouse. So I'm needing to make a huge decision, which is basically to walk away from that dream. Because if I launch my own online gallery site, I'm essentially going into competition with my galleries, and therefore more than likely become persona non grata in the gallery system at large. So first I thought, well, I'll just produce a different product, which is a print, and continue to sell my originals. But there's not that much money in prints if you do the kind of work I do, which is, you can look at adamshawstudio.com is my website. You can take a peek. It's serious work. It's not, I wouldn't say it's difficult to place, but it's a little more difficult to place than some other stuff. So I decided, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going in whole hog, and I'm going to just say goodbye to the gallery system, and I'm going to be the gallery.
Here's what I would say, Adam. First of all, thank you for sharing all that. Okay, so I've been in the art industry for 20 years, okay? And we built this company for people like you. Like that is my entire, like, your problem. I have been upset about this problem for a long time, at least a decade, okay? And what I'm saying there is, you know, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur who has built businesses, you cannot rely on third-party distribution. You just can't, right? And you said it right there. A lot of people never even reach the level of success that you did. I mean, you said you're selling $250,000 a year of originals, right? Through galleries. Some people dying to get into galleries, right? Other people have sold in galleries here and there, and then they've experienced the same thing that you did, where the rug got pulled out from under them. And I've seen this happen for years, right? I live in Austin, Texas. That's where we're based, but I used to live in Orange County. That's where Patrick is, in California. And Laguna Beach, if you're familiar with it, is like Gallery Central. Right?
I've shown there.
Okay. So, you know, like, I know many artists, painters, I know photographers who were just selling amazingly in those galleries for like 2, 3, or 4 years, and then whoop, you know, like it's done, right? Because it's like there's trends, you know, certain art is in style and then it's not. Like, I mean, I can't even name names. If I started naming these names, you'd probably know. Like most people would probably know.
I've been doing it a long time. I know how it goes.
Yeah, and so they, you know, at one point they're living high on the hog. They got a studio, you know, they're doing all this stuff, and then the next thing you know, they can barely get any sales to happen, right? So the premise of what we're doing here, the difference is that I want you to build your own business. I don't want you to rely on any third-party distribution anymore. Why? Because this is the way that any business in any industry actually builds like long-term revenue. And so you're never dependent on, you know, these algorithm changes, if you want to call them that, whether they're online or offline. In your case, it's offline. The gallery owner decides he's going to change the algorithm of his gallery by changing the workout and having other artists in there. And you no longer have a distribution channel that you've relied on, right? And so building your own business is doing direct marketing to your own customers, right? Building your own lead list, you know, like no middlemen in between, and having that be like the primary focus that you have. Now, having said that, I do not want you to say goodbye to the galleries. You do not need to do that. You are not going to war with them. If you work with us, we will talk about this ongoing, because we're consulting you as an entrepreneur that you are, right? As a business owner, as an artist. We will work through this in our workshops as you go along, and I will personally guide you mentally on how to strategize when you're talking to the galleries and all that stuff, and that you will not be at war with them. Okay, so we have painters on the platform that work with galleries, plenty of galleries. Like Matthew Laka is a great one, and he sells directly from his website. There's ways to do it where you're not just like starting a war with them. There's ways to, you know, like, hey, you know, if a guy is gonna carry something, like let's say one of your paintings, it's like, hey, I'm gonna show it on my website, but if it sells on my website, we still split it. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like there's a partnership there. That all that type of stuff can be done, and it happens all the time. And there's a way to massage those relationships and be able to utilize all of these distribution channels. But the most important thing that I want for you in your future is to build your own business long term. Okay? And we show you how to do that. That's what like all of our marketing and all that stuff is all about. Because I know that at the end of the day, if you don't do that, you're never going to be out of the position that you're in. Right. Does that make sense?
It's just
of course. I mean, I've sold bazillion paintings, and I have like no mailing list because I know like 25 of my collectors. Most of them I never meet. And the galleries won't know. They used to, but they no longer share the names.
Yeah.
Do you know how bad
They're afraid of the competition with their own artists.
Yep.
There's nothing that bothers me more than that, Adam, because it is so hard to acquire customers. Acquiring customers is expensive in any business, you know? And so whether it's the online art gallery websites or the offline galleries, when they are restricting the customer information from you, it's like the sneakiest thing ever, because that's the most valuable thing. It's not the one sale. It's the having right. that contact information to be able to sell that person more pieces, you know, over a lifetime, right? And and so that's what you're going to have to. You're essentially starting from scratch to build your own direct business. So that's the perspective that you have to have. However, the fact that you have a lifetime of selling your work, you're checking so many boxes off that other people have not checked, right? Like, you've got work, you've validated that your work will sell, a lot of it will sell. You can focus on the originals. You don't need to sell prints if you don't want to. You can still implement the exact same strategy that worked for you for years. It's up to you, really, at the end of the day. But you got to start somewhere. You got to just, you know, like, you got to bite the bullet and just start with your 3 collectors, start working on the marketing, and just start building your email list, and, you know, doing it consistently over time. And eventually you will get there to where, you know, 80% of your sales are coming from you and your efforts, and 20% are from the galleries and all that stuff. And you treat the galleries like gravy. Like, this is awesome. It's extra revenue. I'm going to pursue that as much as I can, but I'm also going to pursue it understanding that the rug may get pulled out from under me, at any given time. And you'll try to do everything you can to stop that from happening, but you're going to build your direct business because nobody can control your destiny but you. And that's the way that it should be.
And I would follow up and say, so we have this artist on the platform, right? And I would take a step back and say, I'm a digital guy. I love the internet, right? Because it's the great leveler. What has it done? It's destroyed all the gatekeepers. It doesn't matter what industry you're talking about, right? Like, you know, the most famous one, if you put out music and the radio stations didn't play it, no one ever found out what it was. So fast forward, MP3s, people put their music up on SoundCloud. They don't have a record deal. They're selling a ton of music. They get there on their own, right? Like, I love the leveler that is the internet. Matthew Locke, this artist on our site, I don't know, 40,000 Instagram followers, been at it a while, incredibly talented, amazing work. And he still does the gallery shows. He likes the gallery shows. His work is like crazy impasto stuff. And Chris Taylor, somebody put that link in the chat so people can see it.
I've seen his work.
Oh, yeah, you've seen his work. Okay. So before this whole pandemic happened, he had a show, right? And we did the show, and we had a great deal of requests from customers to say, like, can we get a show playbook, right? You're going to have the standard issue dog and pony, right? Like opening day, the list, the champagne, everything else. And it was a great show. I think he sold, I think to date, like $105,000, $110,000 Canadian of his work at this particular show. And I helped him with the marketing for the whole piece, the pre-hype and everything else. And then got to see what happened after the fact. Now, the gallery took 50% of his sales because he had such a big list and because we were able to preview the entire show 48 hours ahead, not even 48, 72 hours ahead of time for all the collectors on his list. I think at last check, and I'll have to go back and look, 50 to 60% of the sales that happened at that gallery were his collectors on his list. The gallery loved it. And when you pull back in the abstraction and you look at his business is never going to be prints. His business is to find collectors because every collector he has, which I'm sure is your experience, it starts with one piece, and then it's two, and then it's three, and then it's five, and then it's seven. He's got some that about like 15 of his pieces, right? And so I actually see the gallery for him as a great marketing hack just to pick up another collector, right? Like his job is just to gather collectors, high net worth people that are willing to buy 5, 7, 15, 20 pieces over their lifetime. And the gallery's happy, he's happy, but because he's marketing, because he's available, the gallery can't hide, right? You just snare them in with your Instagram, with your Facebook. They want to get on your email list. They want to find out more about you. So when you have effective digital marketing in the water, despite the fact that the gallery doesn't want these people to come find you, they're going to come in. I really like that piece. What was his name? Then they Google. Then they get on your list. Then they get into your regular marketing, and you find you get them that way. So I think that's an incredibly effective
And Matthew has also said, and he'll tell you this, but he's also said that since he's done more marketing, and he's more successful, more galleries want to work with him. It's so funny, right? Because it's like, of course you would. I mean, if you were a gallery owner, don't you want the racehorses that actually have work that's selling? And don't you want to benefit? Isn't it a good thing if that artist is actually marketing? Like they're doing work for you.
Yeah, they're
right. Like
buyers.
If I owned a gallery and I had Matthew Locke's work in it, I would tell people go follow Matthew Locke. Why? Because he's going to do the marketing. He's going to be doing marketing for me. People will fall in love with him, by doing that. And if I'm able to get a sale from that, like that's a pretty good deal, So anyways, you can see, Adam, like there's a strategy, there's a game to play with all of this.
Yeah. I do think that prints, I happen to be on the same page as you guys. Like I think this COVID moment is a golden age for selling online. And Americans, what do Americans like to do more than anything else? Buy stuff. And they can't buy stuff. They're going crazy. So I think this is what's triggered this in me. It's like to have something relatively inexpensive, like a print, high quality, under $1,000, that just about anybody can find $600 or $700 to buy something, to put on their wall nice behind their Zoom meetings that everyone's doing. This is a very hot moment. So I'm like ready. I'm ready to seize the day.
And it doesn't look to be changing anytime soon. Like it's sort of scary because everyone is realizing, everyone that ran a company was like, no. My employees are going to be in the office, accountability, forced to go digital. Oh my gosh, no loss in productivity. How is this happening? And so as the home office becomes more of a thing, the home office is going to need some art, right? So we honestly think like 12 to 24 months of at least like the biggest shot in the arm to the art industry as a result of it. And to be honest with you, it's across the board. The data is in, and it's so conclusive. Home decor of every capacity imaginable is through the roof right now. Like every single sole trade bit of it.
And I also agree that, you know, like you said, the music industry has changed so much. The art industry has not, the e-age of art sales has not really shown its face yet, but it's happening now. You know, galleries are closing left and right. I've shown in Santa Fe for many, many years, and 4 of the galleries that I've shown in over the years in Santa Fe are gone now in the last year. So, you know, times are changing.
The thing that's so great for artists is that, you know, you guys don't have to do anything. The industry is going towards your benefit every day. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, the gatekeepers are getting, you know, the internet is equalizing everything.
It's a great level.
You can speak directly to your audience. They can speak with you, and everybody wants to buy direct. That's the best part of the game, right? Is like, I want to know Adam Shaw. Like, if I can actually be on your list, hear your inspiration, watch some videos, you know what I mean? And like get behind that. Like, that's where the connection is. And you can do that now at scale globally, right? And this is a big part of like our marketing that we're going to have you doing when you join. And so with this COVID situation, it's just, yes, there's a COVID situation right now, but I look at this, having been in the art industry for 20 years, and I go, it's game over for the artists, you know, if they want to do it. And that's why it's so important to take this seriously now, because digitally speaking, that's your future. Like, it's only going more that way, where, you know, you're going to be able to sell more directly. You're going to be able to do your own gallery shows digitally. I mean, that's one of the playbooks we're putting together as we speak. Like, our team is on this right now because we have some people on our platform and some people we're talking to that are literally doing home gallery shows, and they are working. Like, it's just changed. Like, you would think like pre-pandemic, that probably never happened, or like nobody thought like, no, there's no way I'm going to do that, right? But now, because everybody's at home, they're doing it. And what consumers are finding is that it's entertaining, right? It's really cool. Like, a guy can, you know, an artist can go through his pieces in 30 minutes, talk about them, and it's like you're at a gallery show. You could be sitting back on your couch watching this on YouTube or on your computer or on your phone, having a glass of wine. You know, you're not even at the gallery having to like do that, but it's entertaining and it's rewarding and all that stuff. And so I look at the future and I just go, it is so bright for artists and photographers. Same thing for musicians. It's so bright for musicians. All the gatekeepers are pushed out of the way. You know, everybody you want to buy the music directly from the band. You don't want a middleman taking all their money, right? Like, consumers don't want to buy from art.com. They want to buy from you, and they'll pay more to do it if you give them the right experience. I always say that, you know, your product it's not just the physical good. Your product as an artist is the physical good plus the experience equals your product, right? That's the equation. It's 50% the physical good. The other 50% is the customer experience that you give them that makes them enjoy and feel better every time they look at that piece on the wall that they bought it, and they will pay so much more for it. Like, if I know Adam Shaw and I'm connected with what you do, like with your subject matter and all that, I'll pay $1,000 for your thing more. I'll pay $1,000 more because of that than buying a $100, you know, print of the same subject matter from somebody off art.com or Fine Art America. It's a totally different game. We always, you know, when we talk about this a lot, but like anything that like art.com or Fine Art America or the cold non-one-on-one experience is doing, we want you doing literally the exact opposite, like exact opposite. But we get into that more. I'm actually doing a presentation on Tuesday for our members in our private workshop on this whole thing, because we just released some new features that are specifically catered towards doing this. But that'll be awesome. We save all of our workshops, by the way, for anybody who's listening. All the workshops are saved. So when you become a member, you can access all of the past workshops.
Adam, you have a short-term marketing problem. That's all you have.
That's
it.
A
short-term marketing problem. You're going to have to grind for a couple of years. It's going to be way easier given your stature, your name, and how good you are, but there's not going to be a shortcut to it.
You got to just grind it out.
Start grinding it out.
So without, I'm taking, you guys give me a lot of time. I really appreciate it. Without asking you to give away the special sauce, I mean, I already post on Instagram almost every day. Facebook, I'm obsessive every day. I've got like, I'm maxed out on friends. What's the general direction you're going to push me in to make me stuff that
there's no special sauce. It's doing consistent marketing over time, right? Focusing on the right things to do, you know, like making sure that you're doing all of those things correctly so that it's actually turning into emails, and then, you know what I mean? Like actual leads. And then you're taking those, you're filling your funnel with leads constantly. Okay. And then a percentage of those are going to come out as sales. And our whole entire art marketing calendar is designed to make that happen. Okay. So we're going to help you get your art in front of new eyeballs by giving you specific strategies and playbooks that we have to make that happen. And that's what's going to fill your funnel up, because that's your problem. You need 5,000 emails on your list. You need 10,000, right? Like that's what's going to, like, those are leads. And if you do that and you constantly are doing the romance marketing that we're advocating, and you're following the playbooks to bring these people to a close, you create a machine that's like turning into customers, right? And a good business is essentially a machine that churns out happy customers.
You've got attention already too. I mean, your personal Facebook page you need a business page, so that's number one. Then you're not limited at 5,000. But if you've got a ton of Instagram followers, you have access to attention. It's not any one thing. It is doing the high ROI stuff, okay, which we teach you. We boil it down. There's no shiny object crap that you're chasing. Here's what to do. We know it works. We have a ton of data, and it's just going to be pressure over time. You're going to gather emails. You're going to have sales. You're going to continue marketing consistently. You're going to show up every day and do it, and you'll get there way quicker than others because you already have that cachet. It sucks though, because you're like, I was at the top of my game. I've already cut my teeth. I'm a huge name, and I have to start from scratch. Are you kidding me? And I'm here to tell you, yeah, you're going to have to start from scratch. That's just how it is. Like the email.
The best mindset to have, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the best advice we can give you, like, to have that mindset. Like, I just got to go after it now. Like I know my art sells, I've got a name, but I'm starting from scratch. You're essentially a startup company, and you just put your head down and you start moving, you know?
Yeah.
Adam, another thing too. Hey, Chris and Taylor, can we get in the show notes? Adam, Pat and I did a Zoom like this, or it might not have been a Zoom, but it was a live session where we went through like the marketing product in detail. Okay. And like I did a screen share, and I was showing all sorts of detail in there of what it is. And that might answer your question even more if you want to see like the detail of what you're going to get and what you're going to be following. And it's titled something like, you know, how we're going to help you get more customers or collectors and things like that. If we can get into the show notes, I would watch that. I actually did it personally. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I ordered, the print samples, and once I see the quality, then I'm in, and you guys will be hearing from me.
Yep.
Cool.
We'll see you in these things Tuesday, Thursday for the next 3 years. For the next 3 years.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
All right.
Keep your head up. Okay, so I know a bunch of new people joined. A couple of things, housekeeping. One, there's going to be show notes in the chat window, and what that's going to allow you to do is every link, everything that we mentioned, it's all going to be in there. You don't have to bookmark anything. You can go back and look at it offline. So there'll be a link in the chat to get that. We keep posting it and posting it and posting it because as you come in new, it doesn't let you go historically back up in the chat. But if you've got questions, Forrest, you can raise your hands. Jeff, did I see you raise your hand? Yeah. Okay. We'll do you next.
Let me give a general reminder too while we're in the middle here. Yeah. Like anybody that's interested in potentially joining Art Storefronts, request a demo. It should be in the show notes. You can always just go to our website and it's in the upper right-hand corner. Click request a demo, fill out the form, and then one of the people on our outreach team will reach out to you and answer any of your questions. See if you're a good fit. You tell them about what you got going on and go from there.
Okay, Jeff, you're up. Go ahead. Wait, I didn't get you. Hold on.
Mute.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I work full time, so the only time I get to work on this marketing is, late at night or over the weekend, and obviously most of your folks aren't around then. So I'm wondering if you're going to move into some kind of weekend cover or anything like that, or is that in the running or anything?
It's a great question. We have been running a couple of things. One, yes, everything is available after the fact. You can check them out, and so you'd be able to get access to previous workshops. What we're doing today, I think, is like actually a new iteration on the workshop concept, which is like probably just pulling some folks in on special sessions, and we've done a bunch of lives on Saturdays already, testing
great.
it. So we're constantly taking that feedback, and I would go back to Jeff for your situation. You know, Megh, who was on earlier, crazy successful, and what did she say, Nick? 10 hours a week?
10 hours a week of marketing.
Yeah. So
that's what she spends.
You know, she's a mother of a couple of kids, and you know, and so it's on the fringes. So
I'm getting about an hour in a day, but it's still it's not in the meat of the day. And when I did my first sale, my first I just had my site open for about 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I had a pretty good response. My list is very small. My list only contains 15 people. I added 5 to it with the giveaway. So that's pretty meager. I was a in-store marketing guru guy working here in Dallas. And I did want to make a point about print quality. Yeah, 100 meg file is pretty damn large for the kind of printing that we would even do in-store marketing. And I'm talking about major brands like Abercrombie and Fitch and Victoria's Secret. Now, we didn't use files that big. So it's the technology that is way different, I think, than everybody's used to. And they really don't understand it. So when Nick went over it, I just want to verify Nick was right.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that's really important. The thing I think a lot of art loses, though, in the digital world is anything with texture and things like that. But other than that, man, you can print a real small 3-inch by 3-inch print and still have, I think most of the files that I've been giving y'all are about 90 meg. That'll go up to, all mine are square actually, but that'll go all the way up to like 60 inches by 60 inches, no problem. So
Yep.
So I just wanted to touch on that because you were right, and I don't know if people are quite understanding that. And I've been in that business, digital printing, for about 15 years. So
awesome.
And Giselle, I think, is asking for your website, Jess. So if you want to throw that in the chat, go ahead and do that.
Who, me?
I think the biggest thing there too is that I always hear these things, and then similarly I have to challenge the way of thinking. Oh, that's cool. Really cool. Thank you for showing that.
Yeah. Kind of stuff like this.
Yeah, so it's like it's a mindset thing where somebody says like, well, they start getting into the details about the file sizes and all that stuff, and I give that response, and then what I usually say, how much are you selling right now, right? Huh? And usually, and I'm just speaking rhetorically, right? Like this is what I get. So I'll ask the person, how much are you selling right now? Like to care so much about these files that like the printer can't even handle anyway. And usually there's a sales problem, right? And so it's like, okay, let's go sell some prints at like 2880 DPI. Like it's going to be fine. You're going to mainly sell like 16 by 20. That's the best selling size. 18 by 24s or 20 by 30s. And let's get some sales happening.
You can see it in this other room here. There's a 60 by 60 inch print.
Awesome.
Now here's the deal on that. Someone who's looking at a 60 by 60 inch print is not going to be looking at it as closely as someone looking at a 6 by 6 inch print. So there might be some little bit of detail lost, but you got to remember how these things are going to be used in the long run.
Great points.
Yeah.
Now, so my problem is I love the fact, and this is for anybody wanting to join up, I love all the different tools, all the different, there's a million different streets to go down. You guys are covering everything. But where my problem is I was in-store marketing. I have 30 years is my anniversary last week for 30 years in marketing. And all this stuff here is new. It is completely new. I feel like a rookie. Well, I guess I am. And I'm having trouble getting the technology to work. I actually had to answer all my ads, all my participants in my giveaway manually because I couldn't figure out how to get
recommend it.
Yeah, that is how we recommend it, actually.
Well, I couldn't figure out how to get it into MailChimp, and and I thought, shoot. But yeah, I answered every last one.
Did you see the hand-to-hand combat new feature? We just talked about it yesterday. We're going over it on Tuesday. Make sure you watch that.
All right.
Because it's
well,
actually
I will be at work.
We built in the email tool to email them back when they subscribe, but with the specific marketing language that we want you to email them back with. Okay, with the subject line and the copy, we wrote the copy, and it's just, you can click it and you can add anything in that you want, but you can go through them really quickly, which is cool.
I can tell you that my print wasn't very big, but it was framed and matted, so it had a little more of a finished feel to it. The person who won it was so thrilled. I actually think they will be a buyer. I'm pretty dang sure. So
awesome.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I
don't know if I would skimp too much quality on those things. I wouldn't just send anybody a floppy print in a tube. I think I might step that up. That's just me, but.
Email the winner back and just say, I just want to let you know, I'm just getting this business started, and your feedback, your comments were so encouraging. So if that print feels lonely and you want to get it a twin, I'm going to give you 25% off. For the
she did agree to do the selfie, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I love that. That's
give her use that language. This video will be on Facebook. You can go back and listen to it. Use that language and send her an email and say, hey, I'll give you another 25% off a piece if you want to buy it in the next couple of days, and see if she bites.
Yeah, and a little tactical, and Chris or Taylor, get it in the show notes, but I think the second podcast I ever did was with Kim Virgil, and she's super smart. So she'll literally load her car up with, she'll get an order, she'll say, I'm going to hand deliver it, she'll load her car up with 10 pieces, and shows up with the 10 pieces and brings them all in. And she just goes, what I love to do on these is just, I bring a couple extra pieces so you can just kind of get a touch, a taste. I'm happy to hang them for you, see what you look like. And she goes through her tactical on it. It works.
It's a great podcast.
Yeah, it works.
Those are with her original paintings.
Yeah. I wonder where she is too. I don't think we've seen her in one of these things. Someone's got to send her a message. Great lady. But anyone else with questions, you can raise your hand. I know most people don't know the raised hand feature. So if you're on video and you want to ask a question, you can do that. Hey, call me. Colette. Seize that opportunity, Colette. I like it. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a ceramicist, and I do multifunctional raku wall tile murals. And, they're like $1,800 a piece, and I'd love to see the quality. I can photograph them with my camera. I do have a pretty decent, phone thing, but is that what you're using for photos, or do you need like a Nikon still? I have a photographer photo for some of this stuff.
Some people are shooting with their own iPhone, or something like that. That's definitely like a beginner way of doing it, or just getting launched quickly. Most, a lot of people get their artwork scanned at a local fine art reproduction company. If you just Google fine art printing.
Yeah, it's never going to scan. This is three-dimensional.
They shoot. I say scan, but they actually shoot with a camera. That's the proper way that it's done these days.
Yeah. So you're saying get a glisse artist that does the glisse prints, and so they shoot it from two different sides so that it's got the texture.
Yeah. If you type in fine art printing on Google, they all do it, and any of those companies will do it, and they'll have it all. They'll have a room that's dedicated to it with all the right lighting and all that stuff. That's the most professional way to do capture, right? Now, and it'll cost you. It'll depend on them. They usually charge $50 per thing, per painting, or in your case, it might be whatever it is, right? But you also can Google how to shoot artwork with your iPhone and see if you can pull it off. I've actually seen some pretty decent ones, at least to just get off the ground, and then you could always pay for a bunch of other or the more professional stuff later.
Yeah, and Colette, that's what I would do. I would find the photographer, the high-end one, and I'd be like, hey, how much are you going to charge to do this? Fantastic. I'm going to keep your number. I'll call you. How much time do you need? Great. Then I would take my iPhone, I'd shoot all that stuff, I'd put it up online, I'd wait till I got an order, and then I'd email that person when you got the order. Oh, it's great news. I just got a new photographer. I'm going to shoot an even higher res shot of it. Just give me a week. Call the photographer, say, I'm ready to take that shot now. Go get that shot, then do it. But wait till the check's in hand, right? Which is a fantastic way to do it. Okay, Anthony, I know you couldn't figure out how to raise your hand. Anthony, you're up. Go ahead.
Whoop. You there?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
Sorry, I was totally not prepared. Here, wait one moment.
I'm a tyrant like that. I ambush. You got to be bobbing and weaving in here.
How are you guys?
Good. How
Good,
you doing?
Anthony. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. So I had a demo with Reed. He explained everything. I'm a photographer. I was in Hawaii. Right now I'm back in Chicago for a little bit, taking care of my mom with dementia. But regardless, I want to up my online presence and target my marketing a little bit more. Right now I sell a lot through my Facebook crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I
Awesome.
probably average 5,000 a month, which is not bad. I mean, sometimes more.
Did you just cut out? Did you say you're selling about 5,000 a month?
Yeah, roughly, like
Cool.
3 to 5 sometimes. But I know I can do a lot more. I have a lot of Hawaii content, a lot of ocean photography, and that's the market that I know I could reach and do a lot better with.
Mm-hmm.
But I do sell, so I know that I can get traction, but I just kind of at a standstill with what I've like maxed out with my Facebook presence.
Anthony, get on board. Get on board. You're a perfect fit. You're a perfect fit for what we do. We will help you.
Like as far as Facebook ads, and I mean, that's what I need help with. I need help with.
We're doing all of that. We just had a workshop on Facebook ads on Tuesday, actually, going over, like we had one of our members who is he's actually running Facebook. He's a photographer himself, but he's done so well with his marketing and all that stuff, and he gets it really well. He started doing other Art Storefronts members have hired him to do Facebook ads and even to run some of their their marketing in general. But we've got all of that covered. We got all that information and coaching on all of that. So
not to mention,
and essentially, I want to. I'm sorry.
I would just say not to mention that we've run over $2 million worth of Facebook ads ourselves, so we've got some familiarity with the platform.
That's Patrick and me personally.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, I'm wanting you guys to take me to the next level, and I guess I'm still. If I wasn't sure if that would happen with you or that was the right way to go about it, but I feel like I'm at a standstill with like what I've maxed out my ability to be able to do.
Anthony, this is not a sales pitch. Do not stop contemplating. We will take you to the next level. If you're selling 5,000 a month on Facebook,
I mean, not all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, like this month was a pretty good month. I mean, December I sold roughly 10, but I mean, there some of them are. It's not consistent, but it's there, and I'm always selling, 1,000 to 2,000 a month.
We're gonna help you take what you've got and do it even better and get even more out of it, and then show you how to grow it and help you grow it.
Yeah, I mean, I really love the sales tools that you guys offer, and the marketing tools are what really are, attractive.
Don't even think twice. And again, it's not even a sales pitch. It's just like Patrick and I know, like when there's a great fit, there's a great fit, and it's like you're a great fit. Like you've got something, you got traction, you've been working on it, and all that. And the product that we have is designed to help people like you to take it to the next level, right? So,
and Anthony, more good news. You haven't even come close to maximizing Facebook, brother. The entire world's on Facebook.
No, not even close.
There's so much tactical that you're missing on. Can't even begin to tell you. Final question, because I'm curious. What are you using that mic for? You podcast?
I do tutorials and things on YouTube.
Lightroom and stuff.
So Photoshop tutorials and reviews on drones and that kind of thing. I'm just kind of working my YouTube channel. It's still starting slowly, but
that's okay. That's where we all start. That's wonderful.
I'm an ambassador at Rode Microphone too, so I work with them.
Have you done any live streaming?
Yeah. I mean, I do Facebook Lives pretty regularly. I fly my drone and go live and just do as much as I can, but not all of, I mean, it's kind of limited with my area where I'm in now. Actually, it's kind of interesting because the area I'm in is a suburb of Chicago, but this area it's called Batavia. But I mean, this whole zone is pretty passionate about their areas, like, and it's relatively affluent, but I've sold a lot. Like I just sold, roughly $5,000 sales to a nursing home that's going up in my area, actually in the town that I live. But again, it's not Hawaii, and I think it's a little bit more limiting with my exposure here. So my Hawaii image is kind of where my, you know, I want to target basically a lot of the world. I mean, there's so many different markets for that.
Yeah. And everybody loves Paradise on the Wall.
Yeah, I mean, you know, waves. I mean, waves are universal beauty. I mean, everyone loves to escape and that virtual, you know.
Yeah.
You got a bright future, my friend.
Yeah. How many followers do you have on Facebook, just out of curiosity?
23,000.
Yeah, you're cooking with gas.
But they're not engaged. You know what? That I built that organically, my Atort Photography Facebook page, and then they changed the algorithms, and then it just basically took like a stop. Then it really was slow growing, and I just don't have the engagement I had as much anymore. I had probably more engagement in my little local groups that I started here, but and I kind of just need to get everything going in the right direction. It's like it's all kind of scattered and not organized. I need to get it to kind of funnel, you know, to my website and to get email lists and actually have it working for me. Right now, I don't think it's all working to me at all to where it has, you know, the potential to be.
Yep. You're
that's where I'm like,
you're a slam dunk. You're a slam dunk. You know, one of the biggest problems that we run into is if you haven't validated that your art is going to sell offline, coming online and thinking your art will sell is always a problem, right? Like you have to validate the fact that what you're selling, what you're producing, what you're creating is something that the market wants, right? And you know, what's so funny, the classic story, Megh that was on the call earlier, she had a bunch of work that wasn't selling, wasn't working, wasn't going anywhere. The business wasn't working. She pivoted, found something that did work. And that was right when she did that licensing deal. And now she's well into 6 figures a year and humming along. So the fact that your art is that validated, this is, you have no idea how good of a situation you're in. Like a phenomenal situation. If you're selling that much on Facebook with a site, with the proper marketing and doing it consistently, I mean, you're in a great spot.
And the thing I love about Anthony is that, you know, and this is part of the reason why we have like demo request calls, is because we want to know who we're dealing with, like, and whether we, you know, when they're coming on board, are they going to be able to execute on the marketing and like actually run a business, right? And like the fact that you've organically like been building your Facebook page, you've been hustling and doing all that stuff. It's like, I'm like, yes, Anthony, I want to work with you. Let's do this.
I gave him the mute because, you know, I dropped, God, my video is just lame. Okay. Anybody else?
Oh, we've got Heather. She's raising her hand. Guys, there's a raise hand button too, if you want to.
Go ahead, Heather. How you doing?
No worries. Go ahead.
I'm good. I actually go by Heather Lee. I'm actually.
And by the way, how cool was that? You came on. You left a comment on Facebook. I mean, this is just why I love technology right now. She came on. She left a comment on Facebook. Is there a Zoom link to join the meeting? I put the comment in Facebook. Boom, she pops in there. Technology is just rad.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm actually a member. I joined actually this week.
Oh, awesome. Welcome.
Thank you. And so what I'm trying to figure out, and I've been an artist ever since I was little. But in 2003, I started on the commercial side of photography, and I've worked in the music and film industry, did, you know, like movie posters, CD layouts, all the marketing for kinds of things. But I'm truly not a commercial photographer. I go out and I capture the essence of energy. And so my question is, I want to sell my art, but I also want to have a portfolio of my, I can't see y'all, by the way.
I'm
anyway,
here.
Okay.
I hear you.
I want to have a portfolio of my other things, because I also still do headshots. I still work in the film industry, and I want to be able to have a link that can have my portfolio and another link to where if I did work with a client, that they can go on my site, look at their pictures.
Yep. This is very common because we have a lot of photographers that have like an existing portrait business or, you know, wedding business or something like that. And so what I generally recommend, I'm getting some feedback. You hear that? Or are you guys good?
Yeah,
I heard it.
I heard it too. It's a little wonky. Let's keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. So, well, I'll just try to focus. So what you do is you your Art Storefronts website is essentially, that's your art gallery site, right? And so you'll have a link in your navigation that you might say like whatever it is, like, you know, whatever you call your other business, right? Like, so that they can, so people that go to that also can, you know, click the link and go over to your other site. Likewise, on your other site, you link to your gallery, like your art store. So you essentially are cross-promoting two sites. And that way you can dedicate each site to what that business is. And that's the best thing to do. Okay, because you want your art gallery to be like, this is my art gallery. You land on the homepage. When Google comes and the Google spider reads your site, they know that this is an art site that's meant for selling art. It's not, you know, you're not diluting it with all of the other stuff. And so like, that's what Google likes. Like they like a siloed site, right? So you've got that, and you've got the other site that's siloed for what you've been doing for all of these years, right? And our support team can help you with that, by the way.
Yeah, hold on, Heather. I muted you because the feedback was coming from your headset. I'm going to unmute you again, so hold on.
Hey, do you want me to take off my headset?
No, it's all right. Just keep talking. I'll just, you know, Bob.
Okay. Well, I'm only going to have one domain name. Should I get two?
Yeah, I would. Like you might have like Heather Lee Fine Art, and then, you know, Heather Lee. Like what's your current domain name?
Hold on, I got to do the mute unmute here.
Of getting it, because I'm actually going through a dilemma right now. There's another Heather Lee photographer out there.
What? Who does she think she is? You're the
only
Heather
know,
Lee.
right?
You gotta be kidding me.
But I built up my name Heather Lee Jackson. So the for the art, I want to do capturing the essence of capturing energy art. Because my tagline is capturing the essence of energy, and that's exactly when you see my photography. That's what I do. So that's for my art. So I don't, now I have to figure out what domain to do for my commercial side, I guess.
Here's what I would do.
Jackson.com, you know, something like that, like, which is shorter than like your full spelling of all, you know?
Yeah, and early on, Heather, don't overthink it. Put it all on your Art Storefront site. That's fine. And just get going and get rolling with that. As you have time, then you can move to the other site and get the two of them going at once. And you're actually in a great spot because, you know, I always rant about the fact that artists are solopreneurs, right? And, you know, I always ask like, okay, well, what's your niche? Can you say what your niche is? How I would find your niche in Google? Well, guess what? Most people can't. A lot of people can't, right? Like, you know, like I take landscape photographs of the swamps of Eastern Florida. Okay, well, maybe that's a Googleable niche. And so you end up being the brand. You are the brand, right? And so you are the brand on the commercial side and you are the brand on the art side. And what's great when you have those two silos working together is because you're the brand, because selling art, selling photography online is a great deal about the emotional connection. You build that up. A lot of your commercial clients, when they need art, they'll be like, oh, let me just go check out Heather's stuff. Let me go check out Heather Lee Jackson stuff. You know, and by the way, this is the same thing that happens with like actors, right? Because you have to like register with like the Hollywood like Screen Actors Guild, and then like someone's taking your name, and it's like, I got to rename myself. So don't worry. These are
yeah. And I think like problems. Heather Lee, I would consider having your name as the brand, you know, and have your tagline as what you just said, creative energy or whatever it was, right? The creative energy of art, because your name, I want the personal connection of your followers. Like when you're doing all the marketing and like the stuff that we're going to want you to be doing, and you start getting into all of that, like it's going to be about connecting with you at the end of the day. Right. And so, you know, like they're going to know you're going to want them to know your name. I mean, you could have creative energy by Heather Lee in the tagline, but it's just something to consider.
Hold on. I got to unmute.
Wait, he's got to unmute you.
Oh, I actually have a really good online presence, but if they type in my name, I don't want it to divert to the other Heather Lee photographer. That's my dilemma that I'm going through. So that's why I was thinking about, for at least the art side, capturingenergyart.com, so they know that it's art. And then my business name is actually Photography by HLJ.
There you go. I like that.
So I could have two different domains.
You could even go HLJ Fine Art if you wanted to. That's another, you know, potential. I kind of like that. HLJ is kind of cool.
All right. Fine art. Okay, cool. Well, awesome. Now that I know, I can link it all up to one website. That
oftentimes photographers come in, they already have an existing like service website, like for their service photography. But if you don't have that, just launch it all on Art Storefronts. You can build those pages. It's not a big deal. And just worry about, you don't ever have to change it. But if you want to later and you want to silo off the other business, you can. But just launch and just go. As we say, just ship it, just ship it. Just go. We want you just to get live, get all that done and just start the marketing, because that's what's going to really change your business.
Yep. And come to the Tuesdays, Thursdays. We can always delve into these issues further, take a look at them, do screen shares and do all that. Okay, Mark Stahl's iPhone. Mark Stahl, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello. Can you hear me? So I launched a couple months ago. Been a long time fine art photographer. I've got some theories about, well, I took another course called Making Art, Making Money that had a lot to do with not giving your product away, never discounting. Don't be in art galleries because, as you said earlier, that they keep their customers. You'll never find out whoever bought from you. There's no contact with art galleries and things of that nature. So I made the commitment to Art Storefronts, and I did do a print giveaway a couple of weeks ago. I have a list of about 180 names, and I thought the print was a good-looking print. And I only got 8 people after mailing to the 180 people. I got 8 people to join my contest, my giveaway. So what the heck did I do? Was it the print? Was it my methods? I mean, what the heck?
Did you follow the whole playbook verbatim?
Not sure. Not positive if I did or not, I guess.
Okay, yeah, you got to follow the playbook, because it's not about emailing your list. It's about publishing it on social media, on all the different channels.
Yes.
Right. To get that, because what the giveaway, the whole purpose of the giveaway, of course, you're at the end of the day, you're trying to get some sales from it. But the real
to build a list
purpose of it is to amplify, is to use the social media and what it's all about to amplify, the awareness of you and your brand and your art, so that it expands beyond and you get new subscribers and all of that. But what we often find, that's why I asked, the first thing is, you did it, but were you following our exact playbook? Because if you miss any of that, then the whole thing crumbles, and we can't, and what I would also say is, take a look at that, and let's get it in the show notes for him too. It'll be a link to the vault. So if you're not a member, the link won't work. But I would look at it, audit yourself on what you did. And if you notice that there's a discrepancy there, then do it the next time by following the playbook, and then come to our workshops, and we'll see what happened. But the other thing that you can always do, Mark, as a member is take your results or whatever happened and post it in the small wins group. Here's the email, here's the language I had. What did I do wrong, if anything? And our marketing team, throughout the week, can look at that and deep dive a little bit more than we can if it's data oriented or visual than on these workshops with Patrick and I. But at the end of the day, it's, you follow the playbook. It works for the vast majority of people. If it doesn't, it just means then the next question is, are your followers? Is there anybody qualified on there that's actually going to buy? So what we often find with the group of people that don't get best results with that is, it's usually their friends and family, and they don't really have a big following yet. And they're not people that are qualified to buy. So once you discover that, and that's a big discovery, then you need to move on to lead generation tactics to start. I mean, you need to be doing lead generation tactics anyway. I mean, as you start attending more of these workshops, you will see I am all about that. That's how you build a real business, is by generating more and more and more leads consistently over time. I can judge the health of any art business, or any business, frankly, by the amount of leads that it's generating and the quantity of customers that it's generating every week, just charted on a graph, right?
Yes.
So either way though, let's get that problem resolved that you have right there. You know what I mean? And then let's move into the lead generation, because that's what's going to get way, way more eyeballs on your art over time. You know, and we have, if you go into the art marketing calendar, in the, you know what, I'm just going to share my screen real quick because it's come times. So non-members, you're going to see a little inside look here. So where am I? I'll just go to this. Yeah, so you just you hover over marketing resources, go to the art marketing calendar.
Sure.
And always look at the important announcements for the month before you get into the whole calendar and you get into this. And right here on item C, we are specifically advocating 2 marketing tactics with playbooks that we want members running right now. Okay. And these are all about generating leads and traffic, and they are pandemic strategies. We're not publishing them or anything like that. Like, they're private for members only. And so take a look at those, because I want you doing those right away as well, in addition to like solving your giveaway problem.
Sure.
And I would say as a follow-up, like, what class told you not to discount? Just out of
curiosity. Oh yeah, let's get into that.
It fries me out so hard. I honestly, like, Louis Vuitton is the only brand I know that doesn't discount. Them. Who else? Like, everyone discounts. It is a part of sales. Like, you raise the prices and you discount, and it just gives people that feeling. Everybody always negotiates on everything too. Like, I honestly, like, whoever says that line, I immediately think they're selling snake oil, because 99.99999% of people discount. Like,
I would love to know, Mark, if you want to put it in the chat, or just, you know, if you can get it to us since you're a member, I want to know who that was. Who is it?
She's a very legitimate, well thought out business model. And
what is her name?
Her name is Elizebeth Ray. And it's called Making Art. Making Art, Making Money. And seriously, guys, I mean, it's a true philosophy. It has to do with building. It's relation selling. It's one-on-ones. It's finding your audience. It's finding your niche. It's very different. And I'm not saying you know. I mean, I did. I'm using your philosophies here because I think selling photography is a very difficult thing. So I truly want to follow your methodologies to make this happen. And I agree with the fact that selling on the internet is really going to be the way to make it work.
For sure. And
I mean,
we weren't attacking you either on that, so don't feel like that was like a personal jab. But
no, a lot of what you just said there, like, we are in total agreement with, right?
Yes. Sure.
The discounting part, the thing that I'm as an entrepreneur and a seasoned business owner, having done this and, you know, built some pretty big companies, I am very, very suspicious about my inputs. Right? Like, somebody wrote a blog post or somebody did a podcast or something like that. I am immediately suspicious, because I'm like, what did that person do? What has that person done? You know, have they ever, you know, done this stuff? Have they ever, like, what level of success have they achieved in their life? That's what, you know, and I'm not speaking specifically about this person.
Sure.
But that's my first barometer that I go towards, because then I go, like, you know, when I hear about the discounting thing, I'm like, we are working with 3,000 professional artists and photographers for like the last 6 or 7 years, right? And that's where our advice is coming from, in the wild, right? Real tactical, in the weeds. We're in the trenches with you guys. We're testing this stuff ourselves with you, touching and feeling it, right? It's not theory. This is not like, going back to what I was saying earlier. I went to business school, you know, a little over 20 years ago, and it's like, it's all theory. But, you know, it's like, the best analogy I can give, it's like, you remember when the US went to war and invaded like Iraq in, like, what was it, 2003 or 2004? And it's like, we went and we took like Baghdad in like 24 hours, right? And it's like, and so all the theories about war, we went and, like, all the guys, they go in, but the real war started like a month later or something like that. And it was nothing that ever got taught in any tactical book or college or anything like that. It was a guerrilla war. and they just started annihilating us, right? I mean, there had to be like a surge. I mean, there had to be a whole new strategy. Nobody knew what to do. And so when the bullets start flying, that's when, you really learn what's going on. And so anyways, when it comes to the discounting, like, it just works. The people that are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars on our platform, 100% of them are discounting and following our strategies, right? And so what I hear often, and many of you who are listening might be thinking this, like, discounting devalues my work though. Discounting devalues my work. Here's what I'm going to tell you, okay?
Kay Hirsch, he did not see your chat. He is not picking on you. She literally has in the chat, I have also heard not to discount. It devalues your art.
Yeah, that is another layer of BS that I'm like constantly stripping away from people. That's been fed in. What high net worth individual do you know? I mean, look, I'm a high net worth individual. I don't know a single high net worth individual that doesn't negotiate and look to get the best deal they can. And if I am buying your art and you're selling it for $10,000 and I'm trying to get it for $8,000, when I buy that, I'm looking to buy an asset. And when I buy it from you and you give it to me for $8,000, okay, I view that piece of art as a $10,000 asset that I got for 20% off. But no one's going to know that. I don't want anybody to know that. I feel great that I got the deal, but I just bought a $10,000 asset. And that's the way that we think about this stuff. That's the way that every high net worth individual thinks about it. It doesn't devalue your work. It allows somebody to go, you know what? I'm going to get a great deal on this. And if I'm going to resell this one day or whatever, this is a $10,000 piece. I got it for $8,000.
Case in point. So Matthew Locka, this artist that's on our platform, and he let me pretty much help and run a bunch of a recent gallery show that he had. And he had like the main piece of the gallery show, this big, beautiful, giant work of like Auguste Rodin and Camille Claudel. And he didn't price it higher than the other ones, but that was like the banner image of the thing. And I was like, Matthew, you got to have one that's priced higher. And I think he had it priced at like $18,500, I think. And I was like, you've got to price that higher. You've got to price that higher. I was like, you got to have at least one piece at the top. So knock it up to 25. So he's like, all right. He talked to the gallery owner. We got on a conference call. She's like, okay, we'll raise it to 25. It didn't sell at the show. After the show was over, guy walked in, said, see, that hasn't sold yet. I had my eye on it. Let's negotiate. You know what he got for the piece? $18,500. $18,500. So there you go. It's a game. Like to Nick's point, like we have direct data. Like everybody negotiates. So whether you call it negotiation or discounting, whatever you do, if you're uncomfortable with it and you want to sell something for $10,000, raise it to $15,000 and then be willing to take 10. Like all you're looking to that gal's point about a relationship, you're damn right it's a relationship, but it's also a negotiation, right? Like I spent an earlier portion of my career as a property manager and I was really good at photography. And so I would take insane photos of the inside of the thing and really sex up a listing, like make it look amazing. They would come in and they would always want to negotiate. And so I would raise the price, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, more than I wanted to get. And they, Patrick, we really like this thing, but it's missing this, this, and this. And if I could just, if I could get a couple $100 off a rent, I'd take it. I'd say, okay, you're willing to sign today and you pass a credit check. I'll do that for you. I'll do that for you because I'm a nice guy. And it works. It works every time it's tried. Discounting is just, it's a thing. It's a thing.
So I gotta. So Kay Hirsch, this is another thing. So she said, or he or she, I'm not sure. I have also heard not to discount. It devalues your art. Better to give an extra print away as a bonus, not discount. If you really don't want to discount, that is another way to sweeten it up, right?
I like that.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. But here's what I'll tell you. This is the most important part of the advice. Where are you getting that information, you guys, right? Why do you think that? Because, is it coming from an artist who's actually selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? Because if you want to talk to everyone on our platform right now today that is selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, 100% of them is discounting. They're not doing that. So that's why I don't want you to do that, because that's not as good as this. So mentally, right? Like you see me, I get fired up on this stuff because I'm like, I just strip this stuff away. What do you want to do? Do you want to not devalue your work to whoever it is that you think that's happening to? Or do you want to actually sell hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? Because why do you not want to follow the people who are extremely successful and are doing this for real? That's who you should be thinking in your head. Who am I getting my information from where I'm coming up with these conclusions and these assumptions? And those assumptions are determining my actions, and it's affecting my life. It's affecting your life and your business. Look at the people who are doing it and have done it and get the information from them. And if you don't want to do it, then tell me that's what you don't want to do. I want people to say to me, I know that they're all selling that much and it's amazing for them, but you know what, Nick, I'm still not going to do it. And I'll go, you know what? Awesome. I'm so glad that you said that, because that to me is logical. The other part is not logical. So, this is one of the biggest problems that's out there. It's not just that. We've been talking about it this whole Zoom call. There is so much baggage, BS, or whatever it is that because there's so many inputs coming at everybody.
It's the red pill, blue pill.
There's podcasts. There's the news. There's articles that you read that make it seem like it's if you're not an overnight success, then you're a failure, right? Like there's 100 of these things, and part of my job is stripping this away from everybody, because I know having started 6 different companies and just going through straight up hell to build these businesses. What the reality is, and what all the stuff that I fell for. I fell for all this stuff. I read all these different, I read 1 million books, I read 1 million blog posts. I've consumed more content and have educated myself. I really take a lot of pride in that, but most of it was completely worthless at the end of the day. And you end up looking back and you go, you know what? I just read that blog post. I didn't even see who wrote it. I didn't even ask, have they ever ran a real business? Or did they just work in a marketing department? Did they ever have $1 million budget that they managed? Did they ever have a payroll that they had to meet? Did they ever have a mortgage payment and be a business owner and have to go through that struggle? Did they ever have feelings that they need to shut down the business, or that their product wasn't good enough, and have to go through all of that? Or are they just, or did they do it 20 years ago and they haven't done it recently and competed? So I get fired up about this, but I get fired up about it because we are dealing with this every day, Pat, every day, and it's nonstop. And it comes across everywhere. And I just know that the second that you guys strip those things away and you see it clearly and you question your thought patterns and the quality of your thinking, you will change everything in your life and your business. And it will happen. You will realize that those are the biggest roadblocks getting in your way. It's not the printing. It's not the image sizes. It's not anything else. It's actually that. That is the game within the game. And there's so many talented people that are listening to this and that are a part of this that you don't even realize it, but those roadblocks, those are the things that are actually the biggest things that you can remove and and completely change your life.
And again, Mark, that was hot button issue for us. So
there's
always going to be a
not directed at all at Mark.
Yeah.
Mark's on the right path. So Thank you for that, Mark. Thank you. That allowing me to just rant on that will help so many people. And so it's a great question, and it will never stop. We're going to be talking about this all the time. We'll be talking about it in our member workshops. We actually are doing it all the time.
Yep. Andy, you're up next. Quickly, Giselle put in the chat, search Ali Sabdet. He is a master at selling art and has a solid discount plan that is in constant process. So I had to give you the call out there, Giselle, because I find your Zoom background is on point. You got to have your art in the background, right? Okay, Andy, you're up. Go ahead.
Y'all quit poking Nick. Jeez, man. Look, so there's non-members here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Andy's a member. Andy, how long have you been a member?
About 1.5 years now.
Cool.
I joined December 2018, and I'll tell y'all that. So I'm gonna give y'all a plug. I jumped in at the top level, coming from Fine Art America, where I sold about $5,000 a year, and but I got no information. I never knew who was buying what, and I sort of jumped into it full, just both feet. Honestly, Nick and Pat, sort of expecting the money to start flowing in, and here's what I tell people. I've given reference to Art Storefronts to a lot of people. It's not really the silver bullet to everything. You can't just buy in and sit back and wait for the money to come in. You got to do what Nick's talking about. about. You got to do what Patrick's talking about. You got to do the hard work, and it's hard. I want a website that I can build, put a photo up, walk away, and just collect money, but that doesn't happen. And so what I have enjoyed the most is the help that y'all give. Just exactly what you were ranting about, Nick. I discount, but one thing that I've done is what Patrick talked about. I just raised my price so that when I discount, I'm still making money, and everybody thinks that they're getting a good deal. Right now I've got a $10,000 gross revenue goal for this year, which is twice what I made last year, and I'm tickling halfway right now. And that's because of a lot of hard work I've done. I've also invested, y'all know that I use John Lechner.
Yeah.
I pay some for the non-members. I pay a guy to run my ad campaign, and he does a really good job. And he's growing my audience like crazy. But honestly, I made a sale last night just before I hit the sack. It came off of Google. It didn't come off of my ad sales. And so there's something that I did at some point that's showing up in the Google search. And so I just sort of, wanted to throw that out there that these guys do know what they're talking about. The service isn't cheap, which is not free. It shouldn't be, because they give us such a value, and just try to go somewhere and for the monthly fee and get the marketing value that you get from Art Storefronts. I mean, I challenge you to do that. You can't find anybody who will work for that. And so, if you're on the fence, man, jump in and lean on these guys and do the hard work, and it'll happen. John's telling me I'm going to bust the 10,000. I'm about to, in June, I'm going to release 3 calendars with a goal. Last year I sold about 10 calendars. It didn't go all that well, but I'm putting every egg in the basket in June to do pre-sales. And my goal is to sell over 100. And if I sell over 100, I'll be 3/4 of the way to my, I might be at my $10,000 mark. And so I'm sort of hoping I break that mark, and next year we'll double it again. And so the potential is there. But one thing real quick, and I'm gonna quit talking because I'll rant forever like Nick. Last night was a great example. I was getting ready to hit the sack. I checked my phone. I had a text come through saying you made a sale. I tried to go to bed smiling. I couldn't do it. I walked out to my office and immediately sent a thank you to the client, because unlike Fine Art America, I had the client information. I had the email, and Art Storefronts has set up automated functionality that already had the text in there. I had to read over it, make sure that everything looked good, hit send. I went to bed with a smile on my face, and the client got a thank you, personalized thank you, within minutes of placing the order. That's the kind of stuff that you get. And so if you're on the fence, just sit back, listen, take it all in, and then join us and start doing the work. That's it. I'm done.
Thank you for hopping in, Andy. Really appreciate it.
And congratulations on the reopening of the Bassmaster.
Oh yeah, man! I get to go to work in June 10th, and I'm going to spend about 7 weeks on the road in New York, going from New York to Detroit, and then 5 weeks at the end of the year. So on the road. So I'm going to be all over, man. I'm going to be shooting a lot of bass fishing, but I'm going to shoot a lot of landscapes for my my gallery.
I look forward to seeing all, being on that journey with you, right? Don't forget,
In fact, John and I had a conversation last night. He called me and we talked, and again, for the non-members, this is something else you get. I I make most of my money as a photographer right now working with Bassmaster, shooting their tournaments. And so that's not my gallery stuff. And I was unsure about how to really marry that with my gallery. And between Nick, Pat, Pat's a fisherman, I believe. And so he went sort of gaga over that. But they, along with John Lechner, really sort of pushed me to make that part of my story. Really make that part of my story, and gave me great ideas about how to tell that story while I'm on the road for weeks at a time, doing something that's not directly related to my gallery, and it's working. I mean, I'm picking up members who are bass fishing, crazies, but I can romance, and who will down the road, I feel confident some of them will buy some art.
Oh, it's perfect. It's such a great strategy. It's perfect for you.
I'm gonna actually take my little 6x8 camper, Nick, on that trip to New York and over to Detroit, and so I'm gonna be doing a ton of live video on Facebook and Instagram, and sort of tell that story and shoot.
It's going to be super entertaining, and that's the point, right?
Yeah. And one thing that we have to get over is, you've said this a lot. Both of y'all have, I think, is the celebrity, the distaste for celebrity. I don't like that. I'm, as you can say, I'm not an introvert, but I don't like being looked at as a celebrity. But I had a guy come by. He bought a print in a benefit that I donated it to. Lives down the road. Came by and had me sign it, and he was over the moon. He told me at one point, he said, "I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity." Now, he knows me from the bass circuit, but I'm not real comfortable with that. But man, use it, and that's what I'm trying to get over, and trying to really sort of create that where people really think that they know me, even if they don't. Just that they know me and trust me and are willing to go that next step and buy something.
Love it.
Andy, why did you, last question for you, because we didn't ask you to deliberately come on. We just posted the link in the group, right? Just a total free-for-all. Why did you come on?
Because I had a bunch of money I just wanted to throw away. No, that's not true.
No, I mean, why did you come on this Zoom right now, knowing that there's non-members? You're giving your time to us. Right?
Yeah, because I believe in the product. I mean, it is again, it's not easy. It's not the product's easy. Okay.
Building a business just isn't easy. I mean, that's just the distraction.
And I'll tell you, Nick, I came on knowing that, when I say came on, I came into the Art Storefronts family knowing that. But I didn't expect it to be this hard. It's hard. I mean, it's a grind. I've been quarantined at home like everybody else. I'm sick of sitting at my computer working, but that is, once you catalog some work on your gallery, that's almost more important than going out and shooting or painting another painting. I mean, you can do all the create all the photos, create all the paintings you want, but if you don't create those relationships, you're never going to sell anything. And so, are you going to be a hobbyist, or are you going to be a professional? And so, I believe in the product. And when I saw that, obviously, you can see I like to talk as well. But I just believe in the product that much. I'm active on the Small Wins Facebook page. Right now, I've got a little technical issue with the website, which happens with every website. Marco's over there working on it, and that all happens. Y'all got the live chat, but the Facebook group and all of that, knowing that the CEO of the company is taking the time to, keep abreast of the trends, and then go beyond that and spend time on Zoom talking to a bunch of yahoos who, are trying to figure this thing out. Where are you going to find that? You're not going to find that. FAA, again, I sold about $5,000 a year. Last few years I was with them. But to get any kind of customer service, I mean, you never knew who you were talking to, and you couldn't call anybody, and your emails may or may not get answered. And it works for some people. I'm not saying, you know, I've got friends who are still with fine art and are happy with it. I just wasn't, and this is
it's just a whole different, like they're an online art gallery site.
Yeah.
They're just an art gallery, right? We're just a completely different situation.
I'll tell you this.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I just have the sense, maybe y'all are great salesmen, that y'all really care about the members. And I haven't found that in other platforms where we get to know each other. I mean, really get to know each other, sure. and understand and be able to lean on each other and help each other. And that's the Art Storefronts crew, which is fantastic. But it's also the guys who are active on the Small Wins group. You know, I mean, I have yet to figure out how to get my dang catalog on Google Merchants, Nick. And I posted that this morning, and members were talking to me about, well, try this, try that.
It's amazing.
None of that worked, right? But at least, I mean, we're looking out for each other too, and so I really feel like it's a family, and I'm a true believer.
Thank you, Andy. We appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for popping in. Okay, Pat.
Yeah.
I think we leave it there.
Yep. Thank you, guys. That was awesome.
Pat, are you still there? He's muted.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, guys. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. And one. I'll just say the final thing. Request a demo. There's a link there if you're interested in joining in the show notes, or just go to our website. Again, link's always in the upper right-hand corner. Request a demo. We're running a huge sale through May. To join. It's the biggest deal that we've ever offered. We're doing it because of the current pandemic situation, because we know that a lot of people, everybody's kind of rushing to get online. It's the reason why we had just a crazy month last month doing all of that. So get your demo request in, and you'll get in the queue, and somebody will reach out to you. And I hope this was helpful, guys. And for those of you who, are going to join or think about joining, we look forward to seeing you in the workshops.
Yep. Twice weekly. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend.